mental health experts call toxic masculinity. Citing what mental health experts call toxic masculinity.
Research found the underlying cause for could-be masculinity content culture.
Toxic masculinity, we've sort of heard this phrase popping up. The phrase has gained a lot of attention recently, especially with the Me Too movement.
It's showtime.
I'm no godless Tommy. I fought the Star-Spangled Banner.
You bring the cavalry?
Woman, I am the cavalry.
They are my people. I am their sovereign. I love them.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Are you ready for this now?
Knock. Stick around.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Masculine Mondays, episode number 30, where we're talking about gangs of New York. If you're new here and wonder what we do here on this Masculine Mondays stream, we talk about why masculinity is important in cinema and why we need to continue to talk about it. We need to spread this word because these new movies, they don't have masculinity. They've got weakened, low-T male characters, girl bosses, and that needs to be corrected. That needs to be fixed. We need to go back to all these great movies, at least character-wise. Not that Gangs of New York is a masterpiece by any means, but it does have some good characters we can draw from and use as masculine strength. And that's what we do here. We talk about them, we analyze them, we give some ratings, we talk about their traits. There's a video in the description, which is a precursor. It talks about why masculinity in cinema is important. If you want to check that out, it's about 6 minutes long, so it won't take up too much of your time. But I would appreciate it if you hit that thumbs up, subscribe. It's free, my friends. Hit that bell for notifications every time we go live and we upload a video here on the channel. And I don't do it alone. I do it with all of you fine people out there watching in the chat, which I appreciate so much. But I also do it with some friends of mine, the Brotherhood. Joining me today is Emperor Goodwin and Isaac556. How are you gentlemen doing tonight?
Doing well. Honored to be here on another Masculine Mondays, Monday night, for a movie which we are going to be getting into for sure, but one character in particular, Bill, of course, but we'll be getting into that. I'm just excited for that one focal point. I'm going to be a little autistic, pick your special interest, focusing in on Bill's character, but it's great to be here with you gentlemen tonight and the chat.
Glad to have you back, Isaac.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've watched this movie. There's a reason I haven't watched it in a while, and so rewatching it reminded me why I haven't watched it in a while. I mean, there are definitely some interesting characters and themes, but those are kind of wedged into a bit of a mess of a movie. Yeah,
the interesting thing that I had the similar thought of watching this movie again, because it had been a while, and I know I like Scorsese. Obviously, Daniel Day-Lewis is a fantastic actor. I don't care what anyone out there named Matt says, or anyone that's
Try Hard Theater Kid,
on a Foulball Productions channel or something like that. I'm like, he's great, and he's probably the only reason why this movie is watchable in the first place. Because as much as I like Liam Neeson as well, guess what? Spoiler: he dies in the first 10 minutes of the movie. So, after you take Liam Neeson out of the movie, it's like, what am I watching for? A younger Leonardo DiCaprio and Cameron Diaz? No, thanks.
Well, I think the big thing is we get to see Elliot after E.T. That really that helps out a lot.
That's true. I do like again, I can't think of his name. Brendan Gleeson. I do like Brendan Gleeson a lot as well.
That's again, good character that sadly we don't get enough of because we have to spend a lot of time with a shitty romance plot. And
it is unfortunate. Monk McGinn. It's weird. I also thought I could see some of his Mad Eye Mooney acting come out in this movie as it happens in Harry Potter, ironically, but which I'm sure he's in it that more in that movie than he is in this one. But
Yeah, also a bit of Braveheart and some other stuff.
Braveheart.
It's just all kind of
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great actor. Knows his chops, of course. So before we dive into it, we'll say what's up to our lovely masculine followers here. What's up, Waylon? How you doing? Just saying, Bill the Butcher is based. Absolutely. Yeah, he
100%.
absolutely is. There's basically only three masculine characters in the movie with Bill, Priest, Valiant, and Monk. Yeah, I included 6 to talk about just for talking's sake, but as far as who the most masculine characters are, we shall see. I will stand by my opinion that Leonardo DiCaprio puts in the worst performance in this movie than Cameron Diaz.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah. I really
Diaz
can't stand a lot of his scenes.
Less annoying than DiCaprio, and DiCaprio's random. I might have an accent when I'm talking at this moment, but it gets up and leaves again.
Yeah. And it is certainly weird. Pootsa, what's going on? Hope you're doing well, my friend. Rio, how you doing, dude? Evening. I am doing well. I'm doing much better now that I'm here with everyone. It's been a fun day, a long day, but a good day nonetheless. Roden, good to see you as well, my friend. Hope you're having a good day. Vexy, this movie has the worst casting decision ever made with Cameron Diaz in it.
No, it's DiCaprio is the worst. Yeah.
Worst female casting in this movie, maybe.
Even then, I don't know. I mean, she isn't terrible in it. She's not great, but again, she's having to play against DiCaprio, which isn't going to help you.
Yeah. She's older than him, right? Which is why nothing ever probably happened between them.
Yeah.
Well, we know DiCaprio has a reputation. That's
right.
Yeah. I'm sure she was definitely older than 24, so she was already out of the running.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Exactly. Jamalama with the guns. How you doing, man? Hope you are hitting the gym and being steadfast with that diet. Always good to see you, bud. Our friend, blue collar loser, Chris Layton Gay. I wouldn't have it any other way. It's better than being on time here on YouTube. That's a way of life. And then all of a sudden, one of the most masculine men on YouTube, Jake Martin,
absolutely,
the OG, goes, picking favorite films is challenging most times. For any faults this one has, I don't give a flying fuck. We're all in all-time favorite movie territory. Remember for 3 months. Hell yeah, Jake. Yeah, I know people like this movie in general, which again, I really do personally think it's mainly because of Daniel Day-Lewis. And after watching it again, I'm like,
yep,
damn, this movie is long as hell. And the only, reason that I could withstand it is because of him.
Oh yeah.
He was 90% of the draw to
he
this
carries
movie.
this movie so
that
hard.
15-second skip button is very handy in some of those lull portions,
Oh yeah, no, there's a couple times like when he was in it, I'm like, 10 seconds.
Yes.
Like just, man, it could be cut in half and then just dump a whole bunch of
version.
Yeah, just let it be still the amount of time that Daniel Day-Lewis is in it, but then just kind of cut Amsterdam's character out a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? So, Box Office Brawler, what's up, boys? He says, how are you doing, man? Good to see you. We got to get you on here sometime soon. Maybe there might be a movie or two in December, if not next year for sure. I haven't started working on the list yet, but I will. I have a lot of movie suggestions from a lot of people that I need to start compiling. So I have my work cut out for me. So it's one of those movies I've definitely been curious about. Obviously, you've never seen this. It's worth watching once. Yeah.
To be fair, Brawler hadn't seen Aliens until like a month ago.
That's true.
And some other stuff. So
that's true.
Catching up.
That's very true. Yep. It's Daniel Day-Lewis movies. He has a knack for that. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's a I can understand why people would watch it just for like the portrayal of New York at that time, and it's like there's some cool sets and designs and costumes and things like that. Shame about the story.
Yes. Wailing for a member for 1 month. Heck yeah. For some reason, Amsterdam has an accent after being raised by Americans since he was a kid.
Sometimes he is an accent.
Sometimes, yeah.
It comes and it goes.
The funny thing is, Scorsese didn't hear it though.
Unless he heard it.
Interesting.
I don't know. It was as Wayland pointed out, because of the atrocious song choices that he makes. Maybe Scorsese was listening to U2 while he was filming and didn't really pick up on that accent coming and going.
Right. Peepers, what's going on, dude? How you doing, man? We lost a girl though. Who we did? Leon?
True. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if he's
it's only half. I think we only give partial credit for that. That's not
it's half.
Full.
Cindy would be a full
yeah,
girl
absolutely a full.
Yeah. She was stolen tonight. No, she was stolen from a new Blackstreet, Atreus and some other short king who likes feet.
They're taking our women, man. It's
bribing them with I don't know, bananas.
I'm not gonna say
I digress. Yeah, we're gonna get right into this. So if you haven't seen this movie, again, recommended seeing it at least once, but no, I hate Leon, so it's good he's
just a way to beat around the bush.
Yes. A short foot loving king that needs a boost for seat.
Yep.
Grown and got it.
Yep. Zax, our Canadian brethren.
Yeah. Get on here, Zax.
Zax, you have a link. What are you doing? I know you know a thing or two about this movie. Mm-hmm. We discussed it on. Wait, no, we didn't discuss it. Right? Yeah, we didn't discuss it on.
No,
Wednesdays.
it wouldn't have been.
202. Yeah. Not yet, at least. So let me go ahead and get this bad boy up and running here. So, spoilers, of course, but we're not here to talk spoilers. We're here to talk about masculinity. So, I love this image of Bill the Butcher, and of course, just the way Daniel Day-Lewis is awake and staring at Amsterdam in this precise moment. It's such a very patriotic image based as well. Obviously with the American flag. Man loves his country. Is that too much to ask for?
He's a patriot.
Yeah.
This is a visual representation of how I feel on the inside when I hear someone speak Spanish in public. I mean, this is a perfect representation, and
man, the lines in this movie hit real hard in some cases. There's a lot of lines I was like, I don't know if I can get a clip of that because I would definitely get like shut down real quick, Like when
my favorite lines I cannot quote, unfortunately. So.
Like when the one bud is like, what are you doing in the church here? And it's like, in the church. You know what I'm talking about. So
he said the church is near.
The church.
One of the neighbors from the neighborhood showed up.
There's a neighbor in the church. Yeah. Or
I have to be so careful what I say. Got to be on check tonight for the stream.
I know it could just slip out.
In my head right now. Yeah, I'm gonna tread carefully. Yeah.
There's a lot of we speak English in this country.
Hell yeah.
A lot of that, especially
but teach you to speak English with the snipe.
Yep.
Well, that is an incentive. Yeah, I think I might have learned French in high school a little faster if somebody had cut me up with a knife.
Yes, it is. So one of the things we do is we talk about the masculine traits that characters possess, and they might possess it for different reasons. It might be on brand, off brand, right? There might be the brighter side of masculinity for certain traits. There might be the more toxic side, which some of these characters that we're going to talk about have possess these, but some of them don't, or they possess the opposite versions of it. So we'll kind of look at them, or at least sort of what I thought some of them possess. Even though it is my stream, I'm not saying what I say is cemented and is full proven lore, but that's why we have these discussions, because I always want to hear what people have to say and think. Of course, I appreciate free speech here on this channel. Yeah, we're American. This is patriotic channel, of course, as well. So
unless you're an idiot, in which case, shut up.
Like if you have L takes about certain characters, then yeah, you might get scolded.
Well, free speech means I get to make fun of you when you say stupid things too.
Exactly.
You may find there is a bit of a price for that, and
there are people that we have on certain channels that know a thing or two about that. So
indeed,
he and or she will not be named.
Yeah.
The crowning of certain senses.
Thankfully, I've never had a bad take ever on a stream. You know, we're safe to say.
I pride myself in not having bad takes. The other important thing that we talk about here on this new format, of course, that is mentioned and talked about and is the main focal point in the video that I have, again, as a precursor, the why masculinity is important in cinema. We talk about affirmation, inspiration, and aspiration, the AIA rating of sorts. Does a character fully possess it? Do they somewhat possess it, or do they not possess it at all? Even though they might not possess one of these things, doesn't mean that they aren't masculine, or they aren't, worth talking about, or their masculine traits aren't worth, looking at and again just discussing, because it's one of those things where you got to figure out what they've got and apply it, right? So, and we'll also talk about this in representation to the scenes as well. So, first up, we got to talk about the man, Bill the Butcher Cutting, or William, as he references himself. So, obviously, class act from Daniel Day-Lewis here. I think he's this savage patriarch, right? I think he has a lot of traits: courage, discipline, sacrifice. This tribal brotherhood, but he has a lot of strength and resolve for not just himself, for his father who fought and died for this country, and obviously the fact that he loves this country so much. Obviously he does have a moral code. I think it is a bit distorted, to some extent. He's obviously very honorable. He does have a legacy, wants to leave a legacy, obviously, with the 5 points being like, I am New York. Obviously he does have integrity per his own code. So again, I think he has affirmation to a certain extent. Is it full? Maybe not. But, and I could be wrong about the inspiration and aspiration. I think I could also maybe have gone somewhat as well for maybe both of those.
I think I would give him at least partial credit for both inspiration and aspiration.
Yeah, so it could be just yellow straight down. I think would probably the better correction there.
Yeah.
But
I'm of the opinion that some people may accuse Bill's character of like delusions of grandeur, potentially.
Yeah.
Shooting over the horizon, kind of overly ambitious. But I admire it, frankly. It is a masculine trait. He wants to certainly leave a legacy, like you said. And
for sure.
He's very nationally minded. And like you said, tribal. And he has a good sense of identity, and family. And
Yeah, I think he represents this raw and unfiltered, like, masculine dominance, right? And he has this kind of authority that is and has been forged through violence. Obviously, he's very brutal, and he has a personal code. He lives by a strict honor system, even if it is a little, tweaked or twisted. But I think everything he does, every kill that he takes, every lesson, every speech that he gives, it is driven by like this instinctive understanding of power, legacy, and his type of leadership, right? That's why so many people follow him. That's why so many people respect him. I mean, even what's his face, Tweed, goes to him for that power. Like, man walks up into Bill's area after man just gets shot in the shoulder as he's drinking with half naked women. And he's like, either shut up and have a drink or shut up and get out, right? Like, this is my house. I don't care who you are. politically speaking. Like I run this town. I do think to some degree, he could be considered dangerous. But I think he is very charismatic. He's obviously very intimidating, and terrifying for any opponent to really kind of stand up to him. And that's why I think once we get into, Priest Valen and the respect that he had for him, is the one thing about Bill the Butcher that actually speaks to his character, and being the type of man that he is, especially in that monologue that he has with Amsterdam later on in the movie. But I think that this movie not only is special or is carried by Daniel Day-Lewis as an acting perspective, but I think because of the character himself, the way he pulls his portrayal out of it, he is the central part of this entire movie. He is the central masculine force in this entire film. I think this movie falls completely flat if not only Daniel Day-Lewis was not in it, but if Bill the Butcher was not maybe written and portrayed the way he is. Like, he is this strong representation that doesn't have any statehood with it. He has honor without morality, leadership without love. That's why he's like, I've never had a son up until now, where he actually appreciates Amsterdam until he finds out the truth, which is what I think hits him so hard, why he's so rage driven at one point. But obviously, like, he is a force to be reckoned with, and I love everything about this man.
Yeah,
he's certainly an eccentric personality, to say the least.
God, man, like, it's fantastic.
Yeah. I think the key thing about Bill is he's a man out of time. His moral code, his idea of honor, the way that he understands his tribe and group and all of that, and how he defends it and establishes power. It's the old way of doing things, and oh, by the way, it's been that way for thousands and thousands of years. But he's running up against modernity. The Civil War is really like, between it and the Crimean War, it's really the first wars of industry and the Industrial Revolution, where the idea of honorable battle and all that is just turned into meat grinder, and who is willing to take more losses and produce more material for war. And in the same way that his conception of the tribe is a more constrained and smaller domain than the national kind of sense. He talks about America as kind of a, but it's more like the blood and soil, older ways of thinking, versus recognizing that we're all citizens. So we're together. We still have the smaller idea of membership in a group, and his talk about how fear is how he survives, and if somebody steals from me, I cut off their hand. They can really come at me, I cut off their head and I put it on a pike and put it on display, so that people understand, hey, we ain't playing here, right? Here are the rules. Step out and find out, and setting up those levels of consequences. Again, when you're operating in kind of a non-government situation, which really they are. I mean, the police are just essentially like another gang run by the politicians that show up, and all that. There's no strong government, and so you kind of reduce down to what's my circle of trust, and then how do I protect them and keep the peace. And Machiavelli would tell you it's better to be feared than loved. That if you have to choose between the two, go with the fear. But there's a reason for that, right? That people have to know there's consequences. You step out of line, they're real hard, real quick consequences. And that'll tend to keep people, inside the boundaries of whatever game you're trying to do. So given that, you know, that constraint and understanding, Bill is absolutely the man for the job. It's why whenever you see, like, you know, the zombie apocalypse movies now, it's a strong man that has established a, you know, a small town or enclave, and, you know, they've got real harsh penalties for people showing up. Outsiders are not trusted, and in fact, you know, are considered the other, and you go after it. I mean, that's just Bill the Butcher all over again, right? Because that's what happens when you lose a kind of, you know, we all agree on, you know, who's going to be in charge and all that. But even like with this, the honor of battle, where, okay, I'm challenging, I accept the challenge. Now we're going to meet and discuss the terms of what the engagement's going to be, right? You know, knives and all this. Yeah. Pistols. Nope. You know, smart boy.
Yeah.
You know, that again, there's a built-in honor. We have a system, right? You may not like it, and it certainly doesn't match up with you know, what we look at in modern civilization, but there are rules and there is a system, and honor is a big part of that, right? You know, when Bill talks about the priest, as the only man worth, you know, whose name's worth remembering that I've killed, right? It's the last honorable man that I've dealt with, because he and I were the same thing. The thing that separated us was religion, right? And that the priest was just as ruthless as Bill was.
As Bill was, yep.
Right. And but also, again, that the priest beat the shit out of Bill, right? And let him live with shame.
With shame.
Because that's the ultimate punishment. But it also gives you a path to redemption, which is what Bill took, right? And that's how he ends up killing priest.
Yep. Yeah. We're definitely getting into that as the first scene. But we got a little super chat from our young friend over at Box Office Brawler for $4.99. What's been y'all's favorite Masculine Monday stream? I'll add to my list. There goes Goodwin busting my balls again, and it's a shame Anemone was a dud. I have not seen Anemone, but I had heard it wasn't that great, and I'm sure, you know, Daniel Day-Lewis probably just did it for his son. You know, so I'll probably watch it at some point if I have time. There's nothing else that I need to watch per se, but oh man, what's the favorite favorite one so far?
The birthday one.
I'd say that the birthday one was pretty damn hilarious.
When we finally made Leon realize that True Lies involves Arnold self-cucking himself.
Yeah, that was a really good one. Which that one brought, it's a long one, but we essentially did a tier list of mostly every single movie that Arnold Schwarzenegger did, and we gave it a masculine rating on a tier tree. That was a lot of fun because, again, there were certain movies that kind of change people's thoughts, like Leon, for example, with True Lies. And we actually even rated Terminator 3 higher than Terminator 2 on the masculinity scale, which definitely it definitely had some good conversations around that. Aside from that, though,
we had the education of X.
Yes,
she discovered what Blumpkin is.
That was
and some other terms.
Which Waylon contributed to that one.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That was a lot of laughs. Now, there's been a lot of great movies I've really enjoyed talking about with people. That would really be kind of hard to narrow it down to one particular stream. I mean, I think earlier on, the John Wick stream was fun. I'd say Jaws was another good moment. There's been quite a few of them, honestly.
Bubba Hotep was another
good one. I really loved the Patriot stream too.
That was another good one.
Really good stream. Yeah.
I'd say Brawler, and of course you're invited to come on this because what we're doing on Monday, December 22nd. We're not going to be talking about a movie. We're going to be talking about every masculine character we've done this year in a bracket tournament breakdown. Who is the most masculine character in 2025 here on Masculine Mondays? It's going to be something that hopefully we'll have like a maxed out panel. I don't really care if it is. I'm gonna be more so the referee, and I want everyone else to really be involved. Now, if there's some weird, shitty, cocky ass take that I vehemently disagree with, then I'm going to supersede everything and be like, nope, Supreme Court decision. This character's not going to win. However, I will be diplomatic and allow the super chatting to increase those rates and votes as to what character or characters is the more masculine. Everyone in chat, we're going to do kind of a similar thing that like Zach's did, where we'll throw it up for maybe a solid minute or so. We're not going to let it kind of go on too long because there's quite a few characters to get through over time, right? So I'd probably say there's probably at least, let's see, this is episode 30. We got 1, 2, 3 more movies to go through.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we're looking at probably like a solid 64 character tournament going on here. So don't want to be spending forever.
We're going full March Madness, and this is going to be speed racing. So
exactly. Yep. This is very similar to March Madness. masculine madness is what I might call it, honestly.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. You're more than welcome to join that, of course, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, chat brings up, I mean, are we going to pull in from the alien Earth? Because Lord Tentacles, that's a bad motherfucker right there. I mean, that may just be too heavy. I mean, it's like bringing in a pro team to play against the college kids. It's
Lord Tentacles. Yeah, I mean, he might just sweep the entire tournament.
Yeah.
You might pull a 2020 on that voting. 3 a.m. ballot dumps. Super
yeah.
chats.
You never know what's going to happen. Yeah.
If that's the way
there was a water pipe that broke. I'm sorry, I don't know what happened. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, we got to put paper over the cameras.
Yep.
It just might have to be the way it has to be.
This was probably one of the best streams that Blue was on, though.
Oh, the peanut butter and the pencil. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, he was pulling the opposite of John Wick. He was just making
a fucking pencil
with a pencil. He ate peanut butter with a
peanut
pencil.
butter with a fucking pencil.
And he had a ton of, I forget what vodka he was drinking at the time, but yeah, thank you so much, Brawler. Let me what can we play? I think I could play this clip for you, and you probably would recognize it. At least you should. I know you recognize it. So, and then of course I got to play some clips for Jake and Waylon
Shakespeare's Henry V, I believe.
It is.
That was, yeah.
Yep. We'll throw. Where is it? Yeah. For the gentlemen that have been recurring for months on months, they've been always able to
stick around.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So.
Bill would approve of that knife. That's for sure. Yeah.
It's kind of like the knife he threw in Monk McGinn's back.
Yeah.
Yes.
I did appreciate like one of the
assassin.
One of the scenes when you see Bill like working with the knife, you can see that it was an old file that's been turned into a knife, which is exactly the kind of thing you would do. Is you get a something hard steel like a file that's worn out and take it to the blacksmith and get it turned into a knife.
It's good tool steel, so may as well make use of it. Yeah,
that's right.
I've made many knives out of files, and it works out pretty good. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Bill the Butcher is very very complex. Like as I was thinking about his character in particular, I'm like, you could probably do an entire stream on him alone, just analyze every single scene he's in and how he reacts or how he commands certain scenes, right?
It would be interesting to like put together the based only on what he says and what he does.
Mm-hmm.
What is his moral code? What is his what are his rules of society? And then what are the requirements to belong in his tribe? Because for all of his complaints about the Irish, he damn well has some. In his crew, and
yeah. So let's ask a good question. Least manliest Thanksgiving side: mashed potatoes, stuffing, green bean casserole, or sweet potato casserole?
Oh, sweet potato casserole.
Yeah, I gotta go with the sweet
That's
potato.
beta behavior right
Yeah,
there.
yeah, some weak sauce.
Dude, candy. I mean, people put marshmallows
Yeah,
on it.
yeah.
Candy as a side. Come
Yeah,
on.
that's
I
not a
don't-
side. That's a dessert.
I like
Exactly.
when the only way I prefer it is if there's like crushed pecans on it. But yeah, otherwise it
Again,
is
you're
just a
just you're
dessert.
just making it more and more dessert. Yeah,
Yeah,
Just have a
sweet.
pecan pie. Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly. A sweet potato pecan pie.
yeah, with marshmallows.
Yeah, and Cool Whip.
If I see that, I'm leaving, essentially. It's just not welcome.
Yeah.
Like I just ate this pie and I kind of got sick to my stomach. Sorry, guys. At my challenge, by the ancient laws of combat, we have met in this chosen ground to settle for good in all who hold sway over the 5 points.
I could listen to that on repeat. That's just gets me ready to rumble. I love it.
Well, and
This-
the ideas of by the ancient laws of combat, that we have these rules that are set up. This is no different than if you're in the military and you show up under a white flag of truce to discuss terms or things like that. There are formalities that happen. I mean, we saw it in the Patriot. Those formalities are still in place. Or you're the agreed party, yada yada, right? All of that exists.
Oh, yeah,
So
I
this
can't forget
isn't
the
just
snorkel.
mayhem. Where a guy randomly comes up with rules or whatever. I mean, they're basing it on an older order.
I mean, pretty much ever since the Norman conquest. It looks like a millennia of honor system, the social contract in Western Europe.
Yeah, I mean,
Bill the Butcher's what, a few centuries removed from the Danes and the Anglos. The Viking hordes coming in, and
Yeah,
there
about
was
1,000. Yeah, about 800 years.
pretty much. Yeah.
But remember that the English common law still allows trial by combat, and then actually the 13 original states of the U.S. Trial by combat is technically still something you appeal to. The courts will generally go no.
Was that
but you can request it. There was a guy that actually requested it during a divorce proceeding.
Was that Sir William Blackthorne, or I forget his name, the guy that wrote the Basic Laws of England? I forget his name.
It's black. I keep wanting to say Blackledge, but that's not right.
I thought it was Blackthorne. I can't
Blackwell.
remember.
Blackwell.
Blackwell. Okay.
I think it's Blackwell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ears and noses will be the trophies of the day. But no one touches this man. Oh, he's going to cross complete.
He's an honorable man.
He's an honorable man. Yep. Dueling is still legal. Just needs an officer present to make sure it's a fair fight.
Isn't that pretty much just Texas? I think at this point.
No,
I know it's not going to happen. That's not happening in my state. I know that for sure.
But military. If you say an officer.
Oh, really? Okay.
Let's talk about the young one, Amsterdam Balin.
Yeah, we have to.
We won't spend a lot of time on him. Obviously, he's a vengeful son. Trying to see a rising war.
Is he?
Wow. Listen, he gets a little help from some cannons that really help the battlefield out. So really helps the fog of war. And again, I think over the course of time, he does have certain masculine traits now. Obviously not displayed well from the acting sense of Leonardo DiCaprio. I think he obviously achieves. I'll give him credit for affirmation, and then like somewhat achieves some sort of inspiration and aspiration. I mean, I think in just a sense of what he tries to do, and obviously being around and befriending quote unquote the person that killed your father in front of everyone publicly on the battlefield. It does take a certain level of resolve and strength to do that. And what is he sacrificing? I think he's sacrificing his purity. I think he's sacrificing things that his father wouldn't have wanted him to do. I think he's trying to be honorable and trying to fulfill his father's legacy. I think he does finally have a moral compass after he almost, is essentially allowed to live in shame after again being publicly humiliated. But I think he's wounded most of the time in this movie, and he's having to learn how to deal with strength and hopefully trying to achieve that strength and discipline and figure out what his identity is after a 16-year gap. He has loss, he has shame, but I think he's trying to become someone who is capable. And I think obviously a lot of that is just from not having an actual father figure as he's growing up. I mean, obviously the orphanage is what it is, but it would be he would be a completely different person at that age had his father been alive the entire time, right? Even if Priest Valen and Bill fought numerous times over the course of 16 years, let's just say as an example, and sort of like theory crafting here, right? I think Amsterdam would have been a completely different person because you would have had such a masculine character to help mold your life the entire time. I mean, 16 years is a long time to either fall by the wayside or be lost, have a little bit of an identity crisis. But I think if anything, that's maybe important to, again, just his character, not Leonardo DiCaprio, is that he does have and has to go through a masculine journey. And does he achieve all of that? I don't think so. He tries to, and again, he's nothing like his old man. So, which we'll get into in just a second. But I don't know if you guys want to add anything before we jump into Priest Valen next.
Oh, he's certainly someone that is defined by his hardships, his journey, and he's crafted by that. And I certainly noticed, resourcefulness is definitely a character trait of his. I would certainly add. You can definitely tell he's had to scrap his way through, and definitely not the highlight of the movie, though, in my opinion. I think Goodwin's bound to agree with that. Yeah, not. I don't have too much to espouse about this character, so didn't really stick too much in my mind.
Yeah, I think they try to tell you that he's one kind of character, but sadly the script exists, and so you get something else portrayed. That he's I'm gonna I think it's when he first gets out and he's talking about going after Bill and he finds out about the the celebration that they have based on defeating his father, and he says if you kill the king, you do it in front of the court and everyone so that they see it and all that, right? So he's not going to sneak around and like try and do it in the back alley or like an assassin, and then proceeds to act like an assassin half the time. And it's why Bill he's like, no, this one's going to live, but he's going to have shame, right? Because again, he didn't come like a man. He didn't come with honor. In fact, he defiles his father's name because of the way that he behaves. And so him essentially like reciting what his dad told him and his understanding of why you do certain things and you do it in public and all that is then just like immediately undermined because we want to have plot go on, or we want to have Cameron Diaz moments and then he puts together the dead rabbits again and all that. It's not well earned. And it's after they kill Monk that he finally goes proper and says challenge, and but he could have challenged single combat at any point, but he didn't, and then we end up with single combat kind of. I know what they were trying to do. They just don't do it well. The attraction to Bill should be that he sees so much of the same aspects of his father reflected in Bill, because they really are two sides of the same coin. Again, as Bill says, it's just a religion that separated us. And that should be it. But there should be something that it's either he comes to an impasse or there's a moment where he realizes okay, this is the thing about my father was, yes, he was likable, but this one thing was the most important. And so, and it's the Irish or Catholics in general or something like that, right? But he never really does that. He's just like, okay, get my vengeance, and then they killed my buddy, the one that betrayed me, and I was going to have to kill anyway, but I decided to say run away, and that ended well for him. It's just he's weak like throughout the whole movie. Even the ending is kind of weak.
It is. And like I said, like he's Amsterdam gets lucky on the battlefield against Bill because I agree with Soul Assassin here. Like he is such a dangerous fighter, and I mean, that is one of the things we'll talk about more. But just to kind of maybe jump the gun a little bit, but he had the upper hand against Amsterdam in that fog of war with all the smoke. And I was like, if it wasn't for the collateral damage in the city, Amsterdam would have died as well. We probably would have had some sort of speech. I'm going to kill you just like I killed your father. Like it just something I would have liked to have seen what sort of speech that would have been concocted by. I mean, obviously Scorsese would have had to have written something very well, but also just that sort of delivery again, sort of like the what if ending if Amsterdam didn't live and Bill the Butcher actually succeeded and was able to, live, right?
Right.
People said like you're going to die in the battlefield, and sort of like, well, what if he didn't? What if he kept fighting and living? Because he's like, I'm only 47, right? Which I mean, sure, at that time that's, what was it, 1846, right?
I mean, that's probably pushing expectancy age.
Yeah, so you're probably
for a male
life
of that time. Yeah.
Like
Nah, not really. I mean,
expectancy,
once you survive being born in like your first 5 years, then your likelihood of making it to like 70 is that's probably normal.
That's true. Yeah, all the infant mortality.
Yeah,
gets
infant mortality
skewed,
really
yeah,
skews.
very true. Yeah, but still, in his line of work, too.
Yeah, again,
his
it's,
lifestyle.
Kenny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Things you don't see: professional boxers winning when they're 47.
I'm double booked.
Yep.
Terrible. My Tuesdays are Monday. Who do I need to butcher?
Yeah, I challenge.
I want to challenge someone to a duel.
Can we get some advice what the future's like? It might be nice to know, all the way.
You watched the movie?
ahead.
How much to cancel? Yeah, it's we'll get more into those scenes here momentarily, but the other most masculine character in this entire movie here is none other than Priest Vallon. Well, I think the brief time he's in this movie achieves the entire rating. I think he has affirmation, inspiration, and affirmation, inspiration, and aspiration. He's obviously the noble father. He's this lion-hearted patriarch. Obviously, he has lots of courage, discipline, sacrifice. He has the best moral compass. Obviously, a lot of honor, brotherhood, the opposite of what Bill Butcher has. And obviously, he has a lot of resolve and legacy. He's had it for a while.
Is that true?
Resolve?
No, that he's
legacy?
That is opposite of.
Oh, well, try.
They're the same. They're the same people.
Maybe they are. Yeah, tribal brotherhood.
Yeah, because remember, Monk even says, "I wonder if your father had won that day. That he just wanted to protect his people, but would his ambitions have changed? Would they have grown? Right? That he would have become Bill. Because look, congrats, I've got my people. But now I want what do my people mean, right? That begins to expand a bit, and the only way that you're gonna be successful is that you're gonna have to work with the political class at Tammany Hall.
Cool. I didn't realize it had 800. Nice.
Potential of corruption. Oh, cool. 800 subs. Nice.
Oh, I'm gonna unsub then, so go ahead.
Yeah, I have like 3 people that keep doing that. Then they let me know
I
about it
know.
too.
Yeah.
You're backed out of it. Aw. Now I have to punch you. Just kidding.
No, that's a good.
I
thing to
challenge.
think about.
I would challenge you
his-
to a duel.
Yeah.
Would his character have over time, if he won, would he have devolved into poor ambitions? Like would he have become corrupt over time?
Or evolved, right? That again, the okay, I protected my people on the 5 points, but do I have a larger group that I need to worry about? And then how do we, it's okay, I defeated other gangs, but that's not the only threat that exists.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Jake, he was a real respected and noble man that even almost after 20 years of his death, his people rallied around his banner. Amsterdam definitely did not have that clout. If it wasn't his father or for his father, people definitely wouldn't have really cared about him. They would have just been like, "Oh, you're just like us, another, Irish person, kid here, right?" Like,
Another potato eater.
Potato eater. Although Bill at one point calls, he goes, "You Irish neighbor," after he kills the guy who tries to shoot him. So I was like, all right, well, that obviously could apply to anyone.
Exactly.
I'd say the same. What's up, Dominique? How you doing, man? As Bill himself said, yeah, exactly. Only religion separated us. So they had that same tribal brotherhood. I will
and the idea of an ancient kind of view of resolving things.
Yes. Kitty, this is the new format, by the way. I figured you'd appreciate it.
Yeah, because remember he talks about that the idea of the shit was happening in Ireland, with the English and stuff like that, and we thought we would leave it behind, but it was here waiting for us because again, this is an old world. The mentalities and the feuds and people are going to always view somebody as the other, and the forever, all the complaints about, oh my God, the immigrants or whatever. Like, if you were Irish coming over, up in like Boston, there were signs in shop windows that Irish and dogs need not apply.
I have one of those. Yeah.
Yep.
The Irish need not apply from Boston. Yeah.
Yep. And
you still find them all around the antique shops. And Irish people, which I'm not one of them, they present them with a thing of pride. And then, other people kind of like as a reminder of the good old days.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Irish, you see it with them coming off the boat and directly, into, oh, here, become a soldier and here you go. But the idea of the Irish at some point, like, yeah, we'll happily fight you in the streets. I didn't have like we've been fighting for 1,000 years, so what's another 10?
Exactly.
But then they also have the sense to then get involved with the political side and take over. Right, the Italians did something similar when they came over. By the way, everybody was worried about them. Those swarthy Mediterraneans coming over here, and they're low IQ and they're illiterate and they're going to destroy everything.
And they don't bathe either.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing, right? And
us guineas.
Yeah, I mean, and happily, some of us Scots-Irish, we're here to welcome you in that fashion and be like, no, you now the low on the totem pole.
Yeah,
enjoy your time there and work your way up.
That's where you get the north end of Boston, the Italian segment, and the south end, the Irish, and then all the English said, we're going to go out west and live in the suburbs and the small towns. You guys can have that.
Right.
Yeah.
The last thing we need is a thieving wop on the team.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Oh gosh.
Why does time go by so fast in Italian neighborhoods?
Why is that?
Because you always have a day go by.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. Yep.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. That's very true. I'm not 100% of the time, but
very true.
I agree.
Yes.
But that's again, when you come over and if it's everybody's against you and get out of here, we don't want you and all that stuff, whatever. You are going to form the tribe, all right? And but the thing is, like Bill the Butcher, not sure what his descent involves, right? But, I mean, you had the Germans and the Swedes come over; those were the squareheads, and get the hell out of here. They end up in the Midwest, upper Midwest. Yep. And
I think Bill is a wasp. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Probably.
clearly the thing is, but is he English or Welsh or what?
Yeah, that distinction I have no idea.
Because they don't say anything about the French,
Right.
other than a mention of French pride means that she's got the clap.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I don't. I swear. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear Day going on about Sean Connery and the Untouchables. Yes. Yeah. Bill is also from New York, so he could have a Dutch descent. Yeah. That's what I kind of figured. Somewhere along the lines. But
I mean, it's not like the Danes and the Anglos were like intermixed for centuries,
Yeah.
warring over
Yeah, I
land,
can't
and
imagine what you're talking
intermarried, and then
Yeah.
merchants would have to have a necklace that had Thor's hammer and a cross, so they could switch around depending what
Mhm.
neighborhood they're in, and
Yeah.
there was a little intermixing there.
Or that
for a few-
English is actually derived from those languages. Mm-hmm.
few centuries of mixing.
Yeah.
It happens.
just a little bit. And so this next character, by Brendan Gleeson, Monk McGinn, he's a bit of a moral warrior. And obviously, his first introduction is, how much are you going to pay me to fight for your side? Right. So he didn't fully believe in the cause, but he'll give him was it 10 per notch? New notch, that is, not old notch.
Yeah, I'm not paying for those past debts.
Right. And again, I think he, over the course of his time in New York, he does have several traits here. And I was kind of iffy about his IAI rating. I'm like, I think he at least achieves some affirmation. I do think he's pretty grounded in his principle rather than power, even though he does accept being the first Irish sheriff, of course. He's obviously a fighter. He'll be a protector, but for the person kind of paying for them to fight for him, or for him to fight for them. And obviously, he fought for the weaker side, in my opinion. But I don't think he generally uses violence or domination, uses his violence for domination or ego. He could. I think he absolutely could. He could have been, again, the complete opposite maybe to Bill Butcher, where he doesn't have that religion that Priest Valen has, but at the same time, he could use that club to unleash hell, kind of like he already did for quite a while on the battlefield. I think he kind of achieves, some inspiration and aspiration, while brief. And again, I wish this could have been fleshed out more of his character had we got more of his character in the movie. This is where I would love to have seen more of him and less of Amsterdam at that point, from both a character and acting perspective. But I think he is a bit of a counterweight to Bill.
I think he's a counterweight to both Bill and Priest. I think that Monk is the individual contrasted with those who see themselves as members of tribe or leaders of tribe. It's kind of why when Priest is going out there, he's just like he's Monk, with 10 cents of whatever, because again, I don't need to be member of your group any more than I need to be a member of any group, right? I am me, and woe unto them that want to start some shit, because I got 47 notches here that might want to argue that was a bad idea. And his he respects and understands the need for certain people, right, and why they exist. But he also certainly, as he gets older, uh, smells that times are changing, right? But he's not out there like, I'm gonna go get revenge because priest died or whatever. He's like, nah. I mean, that it's the nature of the beast. Somebody is going to end up running this thing, and they kind of have to, right? And I'm not gonna bend the knee, but I'm not gonna go out looking for a fight either. And so everybody will just kind of dance around, each other. You understand he's a threat, but he's not going to start it, And Bill, there's a certain amount of respect in that. Yeah, that's a guy that if we decide to throw down, it's going to be an interesting fight. And we may have to at some point come to loggerheads, but haven't had an excuse thus far to do it. But you see like him going to Amsterdam because he recognizes him, and slapping him around and saying, what are you here for? What are you doing? Pull your head out of your ass and the it's do you really want to like throw away your life for stupid shit? What do you even have a plan? I don't know what it is, but I don't think you're smart enough to realize what you're up against, and you need to just walk away.
Yeah,
right. The set aside the ancient ideas of blood vengeance and tribalism and all that stuff. You can make your own way. And to the problem is that Monk, because they convince him, run for sheriff, and he does. And when Bill comes, Monk is again he understands what modern society is going to be like, and is already like halfway into it. And Bill isn't. And Bill is kind of part of Bill's problem is that he's raging against the death of his way of life and how things are going to be done.
Yeah.
You make a certainly great point, because there's different types of guys. There's the kind that totally resist change of any sort, which I admire too, but there's guys like this who see it's inevitable and you have to adapt the best you can, but you don't have to compromise your values along the way either. You can translate those into modern era, and make with it what you will, and try to tread forward to the best of your ability, facing the new, hardships as well. So
yeah, I think the problem that we often have is when you're in times of fundamental change, we become married to how we did things, not why we do them.
Yeah.
And that's Monk's. I think Monk has a better view of why, and so I can change the means that I use to achieve ends, but I don't have to swap out the ends. Right. In the past it'd be, yes, I'm gonna do trial by combat. Now I'll just sue you.
Yep.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right.
And like you said too,
and again, the end is I'm looking for satisfaction and justice of a certain type. Or again, when there's criminal law, if somebody's actually done something criminal, then you go in and say, hey, I'm making a complaint. Arrest them, and I'll stand up in the witness stand and do it. Right. But the goal is the same. It's the means that we use. Right. And there's an old saying that in the absence of justice, vengeance will suffice. Right. And so when you don't have a fair system that you can appeal to, then you're going to solve that yourself. And it's probably going to be a little bloodier and more mistake prone. But we still want to meet those ends. It's just a matter of what are the tools that we have available for us.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other thing too, his death is definitely the most like unjust masculine losses in the film, and I know that helps propel Amsterdam into action more so than it already did, because of what he was trying to teach Amsterdam with the wisdom, with the restraint, as you mentioned, Jay. So it's like, you know, having that character that could have helped shape Amsterdam even more. The fact that he's now gone too in such a short time after just, again, reconnection that they have, all brief. It could have meant a lot more to him had that happened sooner, or, had he been alive a lot longer.
He needed to have some connection to Monk, and the problem is that he didn't really
Yeah.
have it because, again, we're spending way too much time,
To
on
writing
shit that nobody
thing.
cares. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was like a Cameron Diaz for a while. Now let's try and actually set up these things. But the thing about Monk is, there's a certain idealism in the last bit, and I never can tell if it's just bad writing or if there's a certain intent to it. And I'm having to headcanon and steel man what happens in the movie, but the best explanation for how it comes to an end is he recognizes that things are changing, and he's hoping to convince Bill that it's time to set aside these, the old way of doing things. There's still a path to success. Again, let's talk about, the goals we want to get, the means to attain them, we'll figure out, but they're going to have to be different. And that seems to be awfully optimistic on his part, because why would he assume that Bill would be anything like that? Right. Yep. That you better be sure when you're having that. Yeah, I'll talk to you, but I'll be damned if I'm showing you my back. Especially when you're toting the weapons of fighting, with your blades and everything. So it's like, come on in, because you walked out with your shillelagh on purpose. You knew that this shit could get real.
Exactly.
But the idea, I think he thinks, look, everybody around here, they don't support that anymore. He's aware that the world has changed.
It's changed, yeah.
Bill isn't. And so you can't just expect somebody, especially if their success and everything is built on this old way of doing things. You can't expect them to just eject that immediately and switch over because, I've seen the light. No. You understand it's going to have to be a gradual process, or in the case of many times of change, there are people just married to the old ways and they have to be removed.
Yeah.
Right, which is essentially what happens when you have Amsterdam fighting him, because there's no, we can solve this by other means. No, this guy is stuck to the ancient ways. All right, well, if it's got to be by violence, then that's what it's going to be.
Yep. Yeah, especially when he's when Butcher is killing Monk, and the crowd of people. Well, not so much a crowd, but the people there, the onlookers who are just around in the town, are all shocked to see it happen. They're like gasping because they thought these times were over. They've moved on. Times have changed. Why is this person being killed in cold blood? Especially when he's supposed to be.
He's now an elected official.
Yeah, he's the sheriff. And
that's
a
suicidal decision on Bill's part.
Yeah.
When Tammany sees it, he goes, You killed an elected official. Do you have any idea what's going? Because now, it's one thing that you kill people, in the back streets and it's just the 5 points or whatever.
Right.
But you've now attacked the political system. The political system will have a response.
You're going to have resources dispatched in your direction, which you may not be equipped for handling.
Right.
It's not a streetwalker that's just one guy, or might have a brother that you pissed off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You have the full force of the law coming down on your head.
Yeah,
which
this is not a no name.
In a tribal mindset, like, what is the law? It's just you and me, and
right. But the thing is that you're still aware. There's a reason that when they have like these battles, you have multiple gangs that are building up as an alliance, because the recognition is, like the Bowery Boys by themselves aren't taking on a much bigger gang and believing that they're going to survive. Right. You're always aware of the relative power that you have. And I mean, if you're not, then you're dead soon, and somebody else will become aware of what's going on, right? And so there's always alliances, and you have to dance around and do things like that. The idea that Bill would look and go, yeah, I'm going to take on the city of New York and all that entails. And oh, by the way, they can call the governor, and then have troops coming in here. That's not a fight you want to pick.
Yep. Yeah.
Right. But again, I think it's Bill raging at the end of his way of life, because you've already had the election, which rejects everything that he believes, and he's been dealing with politics mostly as a means to both enrich himself, but also that if he holds sway over Tammany Hall, then and Boss Tweed, that protects his people and moves his agenda forward, right? Because we turn out the votes, so you're going to vote the way that we want. As a politician, you're going to enact the things we want to do. And when that allegiance switches, and they lose the election because the Irish turn out in force and all that, Bill's world is really set adrift, and he begins to sniff the inevitable, which is not the outcome he was thinking it was going to happen. And I don't think there's any other way that he can go.
Well, it's the culture shock of like, this is not the country I grew up in. Which we all have those moments in a certain degree or another. But that's certainly Bill hitting reality, hitting him in the face at full force. So
and I think there's always, again, times of like big change. Sometimes you don't realize you're in them until it's almost over, or you're halfway through, or something like that, right? You might catch little things out of your eye, but it's like, but it's fine. Because you're so used to the way things were, that's the normal, not realizing that a new normal may be getting set up, right? And right now, I think we're in a period of that kind of change, at least on a cultural level, because the idea of like the monoculture, where everybody watched the same TV show, everybody saw the same news broadcast, everybody went to the same movies and all that, right?
Yeah,
that's ending. And it seems jarring for a lot of us, because we weren't alive when that wasn't the case. The thing is that that's really only been the case for 100 years, maybe a bit less. That prior to that, it was states, cities, the idea of the newspaper being objective. That is a creation in the last 70 years, really. Prior to that, there's a reason that it's the Arkansas Democrat Gazette, the Arizona Republican, that those newspapers are called that, right? They were absolutely, ideological and sided in one way. And that's how most of history is. That we are now reverting back, that we all lived in a time that was a bit of an aberration in the way that things worked culturally and all that, and are changing to that. There's a lot of people like, no, it'll be fun. We're going to get back, and we're going to, this will be the show that does what. No, this is the new normal is getting set up, and those who adjust to it and understand it have a much better chance of succeeding versus those who just dig in and say, nope, this is the way it's going to be, I'm going to do it. And you're going to end up just like Bill. You're going to get steamrolled by the future.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting and a good subway to talk about Boss Tweed here. Again, as this political manipulator who really doesn't hold the cards in the city. At least up until the end. Yeah, and he has some traits, but they're not all they cracked up to be. Obviously, his moral compass is compromised. I don't think he achieves any sort of affirmation, inspiration, or aspiration. He only sacrifices things when it's necessary, and it's not that type of noble sacrifice either. Not a very masculine character whatsoever, but just because he deals with Bill and is in Bill's pocket essentially, and then obviously he tries to switch sides and tries to go to Amsterdam. It's like, I'd like to partner up with you. And they try to talk terms, and they're like, yeah, no, well, you'll never have someone that's Irish leading this country. No, or this county. No, a mayor. I no, absolutely no way. It's not going to happen. But sheriff, no, we could maybe do that. And it's funny because he's like, no, I can get you all. I don't think he even hears Amsterdam say, no, I can get you every Irish vote. And it's just like, no, you can't do that. Or like, it's not actually going to happen. But I'll give you sheriff, and we'll see how that works. He's not.
Yeah, and then later he's like, we should have ran him for mayor.
Yeah, and afterwards it's like, oh, damn, missed. It's like, hey, we told you, we tried to tell you to let him run for mayor, but you didn't want to listen to us. Yep. So,
well, it's kind of like what we say now, local politics. School boards, city councilors, stuff like that. I mean, it still applies today. Local politics is kind of where it's at in terms.
Thank you,
of
Pouty.
influence.
Yeah, everybody's obsessed about the national, and it was like, solve your local shit. Because that's where you need to put your focus in, because that's, again, where the schools are, and that's one of your biggest problems in culture is education and all that. So solve that shit. You worrying about problems 1,000 miles away when you haven't solved the problem that's on your block.
Yeah, people are like, oh, the kids these days, well, where do they go to school? Do something about it, and put some good stuff back into schools.
Without returning to the gay 1990s. I mean, 90s weren't that bad.
No, but they were consequenceless. You had the end of the Cold War.
Yeah,
when they're talking about the end of history.
History was for sure.
Our biggest concern was whether the president got a blowjob from an intern. The dalliance with international conflicts, where it's all like, oh, we'll just kind of fly in and bomb some stuff, and that's about it. That's all we have to deal with it, whatever, right? Those are the cakest of cake times, right? That's what got you a lot of weakness that started showing up later. Yeah. Speaking of other people that were just in this movie at a random, there's quite a few people I totally forgot that were in this movie. My man's eyebrows were magnificent. They are still just impressive. Yeah. My wife said, do you think his eyebrows are insured? She was like, no, I'm sure they are. They have to be. Look at those. Probably. But last guy we'll talk about, Happy Jack. My. How the not so mighty have fallen. The turns have tabled. We've tables. The turns have tabled. Yes. And it's a bit cowardly. Doesn't really know what his moral compass is. Obviously he has low discipline, no courage, a brotherhood. And I think he's abandoned all of his integrity. Obviously, from how we see him in the beginning of the movie, especially when Valen falls down, he's the first one, I believe, before even Amsterdam, as a kid, runs to Valen. Runs to Priest Valen. And now he's just this corrupt police officer, right? Who is still working for the guy who killed his friend, with Priest Valen. So, I get it. You're just trying to fit in and trying to make your, a way in your living, but like, this ain't it. Like, what you are sacrificing is the things you shouldn't be sacrificing. Your moral compass, your courage, the brotherhood you once stood for, and your integrity. Like, you're taking things from the people that you once aligned with, and you are just being, quite shisty about it. So,
he clearly did not value the ancient laws like some people. He, kind of definitely a selfish person. And one thing that threw me off, did they put any effort to make him look older over this time span? He just looked like he didn't age at all from the fight to this, in my opinion.
Yeah. Ironically, Wayland says John C. Reilly's last good role. mean, I like Step Brothers, but probably he's not in this movie a lot either, though. So I'm not too sure. I mean, yeah, Dale Doback, Talladega Nights might be his last good film.
I was hoping the invisible fire would consume him at some point. So. Or he's in there with Amsterdam. He's like, no. I was just surprised. I thought you were a sweet 8-pound, 5-ounce baby Jesus.
Put a hat on him. Switch sides. Your character's going to change over time. Cool. What do I wear now? A hat. And
a hat.
You're still going to dress up a bit, but that's it.
Yeah, I mean, Jack is he's the follower. He follows priest, and whoever he believes has power, sway that he's working with, then okay, I'm with them, kind of thing. And so he's, he joins a new gang, which is essentially the New York City Police. And
yes,
but also understands who the dangerous people are.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because when Bill has his very tearful display about the poor murdered rabbit, and he's like, you saw that, you, not one of your underlings, you, and so he does it because, again, I can hang the chain on the lamppost or whatever. A lot of that is because he and Bill have an agreement. And Bill is the reason that shit isn't getting stolen. Not
right.
him.
And I just want to point out too, not to get political, but like people talk about police corruption nowadays and everything. Like, allow me to introduce you to 100 years ago.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
there was essentially no police reports, filing as much to the degree that we do now. No body cams, no cameras whatsoever. Really, and yeah.
Well, not only that, but you had the spoil system.
The spoil system.
Yeah. That you're a government employee. Well, a new party got elected, and so all of you are fired, and I'll be replacing it with people that contributed to me.
Exactly.
I'm starting to see the wisdom of that plan, having witnessed the career government employee and his work. I think I might be willing to go back to the spoil system.
Yeah, and again, he's not in the movie a lot, but I think for what his character is meant to do, he's in it enough. Again, like being the follower, the type of.
Well, he's the when you have members of tribes and the tribe itself is disbanded.
Yeah.
Then what do you do? I mean, they will all
start
kind of
your
float.
own.
Well, clearly not. They all kind of float to, okay, there's a power vacuum, and I'm a follower. I need to go to who has power. And so you see some with Bill and some with the police and in other places. They're just kind of all scattered out.
Yeah, he's a conquered and defeated man without a nation at this point. So he's seeking refuge to whoever will take him for a sense of security, which he got, in this degree. And, it's nothing like I see it's all in all red. There's nothing to aspire to with this character type,
Yeah, I mean, this is a survival first.
Exactly. He's scraping for crumbs.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Or he's stealing crumbs from other people.
Very true.
To survive off of them. Yeah.
he's kind of, I mean, Tweed is the like the realist with no underlying moral drive other than success and enriching himself and having some power. Jack's not different. He's just lesser than.
Grumbum. Now, question: would you rather side with Happy Jack or Simple Jack?
I think Simple Jack. I mean, he puts on a hell of a stage performance.
Right.
Very compelling.
I don't know.
Basically, would you rather hang out with a crumb bum or a guy that goes full retard? he's an opportunist though
I think
too.
I'm going with full retard.
Yeah,
I think I mean, at least the retard you can kind of like justify. Like, he's not purposely screwing up. He's not a scumbag.
Yeah.
He's just dumb,
Right.
you know.
Yeah. You
Right.
know,
Like,
his eyes will
can't-
rain occasionally. What are you gonna do? You know,
Can't help himself
Yeah.
to some degree. Yeah, you know, you might feel bad for him just a little bit. I don't feel bad for Happy Jack at all. You know, like
right.
so. Simple Jack.
Like, you know
too
what you're
dumb to
doing
lie.
is shitty, and you're a
Exactly.
dirtbag for it. You know,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
accountability there. Yeah.
my eyes
Yeah.
did not rain when Happy Jack was killed.
Makes
No.
me happy.
Happy.
We are going to cover that at some point, probably next year, because it's such a fantastic movie. Simple Jack, he ain't got good brain, but he's happy.
That's right.
A crumb bum or a dum dum, or a dumb crumb bum. Hey, I've got a touch of the Simple Jack tonight. I can't type for beans. It happens to the best of us, Jake.
Yeah,
It's
he's
all
been
right.
spiel chucking the hell out of things. It's pretty bad.
I agree. He does have a wide variety of acting ranges and roles over the course of his career. So
I see. The thing is that I think this was another bad casting decision. I think they cast him for the look, which is definitely like appropriate for the era. The thing is that he tries to be menacing, and he always sounds like the try hard guy that's kind of a joke and does it anyway, right? That's it. Just never, like, even like when he's like, at the beginning when he's walking out and he's like, yeah, ruffling Amsterdam's hair or whatever. He just looks like, it's like, is that your brother-in-law? Why is your brother-in-law here? What the hell is going on, dude? Told you, this guy's useless. Stop it.
Yeah. I would have to agree with that. And I'm kind of curious to see who they had. Zach said just a moment ago that Cameron Diaz wasn't the first choice. Makes so much more sense. Yeah, I'm actually kind of intrigued to see who was the first choice. I did not look that up, but
Zendaya.
was she even born yet?
It doesn't matter. They still would have cast.
You even saying that just
Time
like
capsule her.
It's
Yeah.
just
It
unnerving.
was either that or Pedro Pascal. Those were the really.
Yeah, God forbid we see like a new like remake out of this. It'd be like, I could see them getting the role of Bill Butcher. Ooh, Sarah Michelle Gellar. Wow. Would that
They
have
better
been
never
better?
retouch this movie ever. I don't want them to.
I
Nowadays, no.
I don't think they should, simply because of Daniel Day-Lewis, because no one's going to do a better job than him in this.
I mean, when they were talking about, like, when Waylon was mentioning that they tried to make it a couple of times, and in the
Sarah
90s,
Polley.
they were looking at Mel Gibson and
Willem
Willem
Dafoe.
Dafoe, and I'm like, yeah, Dafoe. Because again, if you've seen Streets of Fire, he is Bill.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, maybe I would have liked to have seen Defoe, like an audition from him, right? Just to kind of get a little bit of an example. But like you said, I think that we did see that in Streets of Fire. So Mel Gibson as Amsterdam, as right?
Or either that or as Priest. I don't know who the hell.
Or Valen? Yeah, like who was Mel Gibson supposed to play? Because I would have thought that Mel Gibson was cast in it, and he's not in it for very long. I mean, that's kind of why I hate the fact that they killed Liam Neeson off the rip, pretty much. But it would have been really interesting to see, Winona Ryder instead.
Wow.
It would have been interesting to see Sarah Michelle Gellar instead. Sorry, not. I mean, even then, and then Sarah Polley, right? I agree. I think Sarah Polley would have been good too, but at least better than Cameron Diaz, that's for sure. So, were they looking at anyone else? I wonder, like after Mel Gibson, like other than maybe Leonardo DiCaprio, like if he was like the first pick, and then he's like, yeah, I'll do it.
Scorsese.
Yeah, see, I don't this to me just would not have been good. John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd.
It's a musical.
Coked out Bill the Butcher.
Yeah, it's like, Bill, why are we having this fight? On a mission from God.
I mean, yeah.
I drink your milkshake. Wrong movie. Wrong movie. That has
it's
not
all
been
right.
made yet.
That's a big Twinkie.
Yeah. Let's talk about I mean, we already mentioned it, but we'll kind of go through some of these scenes here. Five most masculine scenes that I picked out, obviously from the start, because of Priest Valen and his final stand. I think the entire thing, because of him, obviously he has that full embodiment by default. But it being the opening battle, Valen leading his Valen. I love the way Daniel Day-Lewis says Valen. It's just so commanding. Leads his men with this ceremonial discipline, right? I mean, just even the way he's standing with that cross like this.
Well, he's a priest.
Guys getting ready to slay like 1,000 orcs, honestly.
Yeah. He's like, well, I came over here. There weren't any dragons, so I just decided to show up and deal with Bill.
If this was like D&D, he would be a holy paladin.
Yeah.
Like, easy, hands down.
I mean, is Liam Neeson built that? Like, is he tower over everyone like that in real life, or did
He's
they
a
do
big
some
dude.
6'4".
scale? Oh, really? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Because everyone looks like a midget next to him, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. Even John C. Reilly is probably what, like 6 foot?
Around that, maybe.
Around that, maybe. Yeah, and he's taller than Brendan Gleeson. Yeah, I mean, he's the tallest person on that entire screen there. So, I mean, it makes sense for him to be the one leading the charge, right? But I think obviously it definitely this whole scene anchors the film's masculine morality. There's obviously a lot of true leadership here that he conveys. A lot of courage, obviously, to lead a charge like this up against Bill the Butcher. And this is, the father's example for his son. Like, this is like the roadmap. Like, he tries to teach young Amsterdam, like, no, never wipe the blood off, right? Like, he even in his last breaths, he's still teaching his son, how to be a man.
He's saying, "Don't look away."
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, and like that right there, it is like, to me, like, that hit so hard. I'm like, damn, like, to just not only have to say that to your son as you're dying, but your son's obviously having to comprehend that at such a young age. But there's a lot of honor in all of this. Again, he has this like unshakable presence even in death here, but just the way Bill is on this mission, and that's obviously very violent. Obviously they're collecting trophies like ears of this crazy.
I totally forgot how gruesome. I mean, obviously it's gruesome, but there was a couple close-ups. I'm like, whoa.
Like this, and then Buddy getting his face ripped off like this, man.
Yep.
There
was a hatchet to the back, and it really split. And I was like, "Whoa!" The prosthetic on that was kind of nuts,
Yeah,
it starts out. It's remarkably bloodless. When Bill is just walking through and hacking and cutting, and there's just a whole lot, and then you start to see a little pink everywhere, and then it starts to get really bloody. And I was like, I bet they had to do this for ratings. That they couldn't go full Bonnie on this thing.
Yeah. But this crazed look that Bill has, I mean, it's like determination. He's got something, man on a mission, a brutal, violent mission, but again, that's why he's the opposite, that glass eye that he took out himself
and sent it to him.
And I believe Daniel Day-Lewis, he got hypothermia filming this scene, I believe. I believe he was underdressed purposely so. Others had, thermals and stuff. And he really wanted the primal adrenaline rage filming this. And he got it,
Absolutely. Rage will keep me warm.
Yep.
Not this thermal lighting. I don't need this.
My hate.
My hate will keep me warm.
He's a method actor, that's for sure. Yeah.
Yep. What does Matt call him?
This is Try Hard Theater, kid.
Try Hard Theater, yeah. Yeah. I love this even shot right here. How the fake eye is more open than his real eye. I don't know if that was intentional, but just the way it looks in this frame here is, well, I mean, he's being choked, even though Priest Valen's getting stabbed twice.
He kind of has to get that hand up his throat. And better go for a kill shot.
Go for the gut and to the side now. I mean, to be stabbed like that, I mean, those are pretty lengthy knives he's got too.
Yep.
You know,
Oh,
so
that hit vitals. Yep.
Oh yeah, like he's done for, right?
I mean, the gut hurts. It's the one on the side that's hitting the liver that it's going to bleed you real quick.
Yeah, I'll bleed you
real quick. Leave me here.
Look, got that. But nice chops for both of them. You know, pretty good mustache for both too. And yeah, I mean, just the way the battle ends, of course, like this victory that Bill has finally achieved, and what it means to not only Bill himself but to everyone, right? To the 5 points to this, tribal ritual that they've been adhering to for quite some time now. That this was the last one, you know. This is the nail in the coffin. You know, Priest Valen is no more, and this is the last good sighting of Happy Jack, right? Just in the beginning of the movie again, and as he runs to him, and that's it. Like it's kind of sad to see how it all ends. I think the next scene, kind of like how this scene is a continuation, but what I did was I kind of put them together a little bit. With Bill's monologue over Valen's body here, right? Like, even though there's a time jump, I think what Bill is saying is strong, but it is shadowed to a certain extent. Obviously he's expressing the admiration for Valen, even describing the honor of killing him, right? Like he's, out of all the men he's ever killed, he's the only one that he remembers. Because
it's the only one whose name is worth remembering.
Worth remembering, right? Again, it is savage, it's primal, but he does have this paradoxical masculine respect. It's this honesty that you hear from Bill, and you can even from an like Daniel Day-Lewis is doing this, of course, with acting, but you can kind of hear like his breathing if you're listening close enough, that he is remembering the fear that he had when it came to Priest Valen, right? When he describes later on how, my face was beaten to a pulp, Priest Valen did this to my face, and I looked away, and it's like, what did Priest Valen tell his son? Never look away.
Yep.
But he did. So what did he do? Boom. Now you're living in shame, buddy. I'll let you live, but you're going to live in shame. And that the fact that he kills Priest Valen, the man that he had so much respect for, at the end of the day, to cut out your eye and to send it to him as you've taught me something here in our battles on the battlefield. But now I understand, and I'm going to be better, but I'm going to be more vicious, and I'm going to defeat you at some point, but I'm going to
gives him a road to redemption, right?
Right. There's exactly. There's that chance, that opportunity.
Honor.
Yeah.
But I love I love when Bill gets him, and then after Priest falls, Bill immediately gets it's like almost tender, where he's like, again, he's touching him, is like, I'll make it quick, it'd be over soon. And
you don't put your hand on someone's head like that, someone you hate.
Yeah, again,
it's
the measure of and the fact that I don't want to see you suffer, right, because again, you were an honorable man and a worthy man, and you deserve, it's also that no one will touch his body, that he's going to be intact, and whole when he crosses over, but it's also that this is necessary. We know what we came here to do. Right. And this ends in blood and death. One of us is going to die, period. And it's again, the fact that you taught me, through our prior engagement, that my manhood was lacking and that I had to step up and to fully attain what I thought I was. And so there's an appreciation to that, right? The often we measure people by like who are their friends.
Mhm.
More importantly, who are their enemies, and
Yeah.
how worthy an opponent are they? Because that will tell you a lot about someone. And the fact that Bill, saw Priest as his enemy, and that raised his own status, right? That the man that I would be fighting is such a worthy man, gives credit to me and him, right?
Mhm.
And it's an honor to
Yeah.
be held at the same level.
For
Yeah.
someone to say that's a concept most people would not understand nowadays is I'm honored to have an enemy such as you,
Yeah,
essentially,
yeah.
and
Well,
it's it's not
it's why
it's not petty child, womanly bickering. It's like it's real stuff,
Yeah, I'm not looking to punch it down.
Exactly,
I'm
yeah.
looking to go up
Yeah.
or fight equal, but
Mhm.
it's why, if you go to, like, when the guys were still around, World War II,
Ooh.
meetups between soldiers on different sides, and they have
Yes.
a camaraderie, right? Because
What's up,
they all
Rossi?
suffered similar things, and they don't. It's not a personal thing,
Yeah.
right? It wasn't you hating me. You
They
were
were
doing
called
your
by their
duty, I was
country
doing
to
my
serve.
duty. This is
Yeah.
what we did, right?
And that's what I hate about, like, World War II movies, a lot of them. It's like it's all this like, the American side, "Oh, those damn Germans," and the Germans, "Oh, those dirty American." It's like, it was not that. It
Well,
was
I at that time, it very much was.
Yeah.
It's often then give them a few years, and they're like, you know what,
Right.
man, those guys we went up against on Hill 43, those are some tough sons of bitches,
Content check.
and the fact that you overcame them.
Exactly.
We got a $2 super chat from Rossi, our short king. Good to see you, Rossi. Hope you're doing well. Goodwin was in his prime in 1872.
You then had to
100
correct
laughing.
that.
1862.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. One of many. It's one of the Civil Wars I fought in.
Yep. He was just observing. Didn't need
As far as you know, that's been my story, and I'm sticking to it.
crossover hole. Yeah. I really do love this monologue because I think that it definitely hits on certain points, especially for Amsterdam to listen to this, but also it's like you can't really be mad at him to a certain extent. I mean, yes, this is a man that killed your father, but when you're hearing more about the enemy that your father battled against multiple times, and yes, he did get the best of him in the end. I think there's a little bit of a mutual respect that I think he tried to have, but again, I think the vengeance was too weighty. But there's again, I don't know if there's just me or myself that I was like, man, if that were me and I'm listening to this guy talked about like how he just killed my father and like, but like I know that this guy is the most vicious person here in New York, and that everyone that has fallen to his blade, everyone that follows him, but most everyone is worthless. Like their names don't carry any weight to them except my father. Now I could still hate him, right? But does that change the fact that I would still want him dead? Because especially afterwards, he's like, I've never had a son, but God bless you, and like again, it's really interesting the turn of events here because I don't know, like there's just maybe it's just the acting perspective too of Daniel Day-Lewis here in this monologue that carries a lot.
Well, there's a Bill is opening himself up in a way that
he's being vulnerable. Yeah.
Well, not necessarily.
A little bit.
But he's opening himself. But there's also, he's describing a time and kind of the greatest moment of when I had a worthy opponent.
Yeah.
An adversary, and now I won, but there's no other metric with which to measure myself against anymore, right? That I'm kind of it, certainly based on the metrics that he cares about. Yeah, Tweed might have more political power, but that's not really what Bill is about, right? It's the to measure your manhood, to do it in the ancient ways. And there's a point where he's like, he says something and you can tell that Amsterdam is kind of pouty, and he just what he was like, what, say it, right? And part of that is pay attention. These things I'm saying are important and must be respected.
Mhm.
Right. I'm kind of reciting the important moments, right? The measure of a man. And if you want to be a man, you better listen, and you better give it its proper respect. Right. So there's is he opening himself up? Yes, but he's opening himself in a way where he's like, I'm looking at a protege, right? That I'm a mentor, and I want you to understand what the real stakes are. I'm trying to pass on I'm trying to pass on this understanding of the world and way of life, and you're the only one that I see around that's really worth doing that, which is why he is so enraged at the betrayal.
Right.
Well, he also sees the continuation of his opponent and like a preservation of the old ways, as you're seeing. It's slipping away with everybody, and society is crumbling around him. But here's the son of his former opponent. Maybe he can instill that sense of the ancient laws and the dignity and that way of life. Maybe he can continue it through his opponent's son, because he
Yeah,
doesn't
but
have one
remember,
of
he
his
doesn't
own.
know this is Valen's son at this point.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I see. I'm jumping ahead mentally. Yeah, but still, he
Yeah,
wants
Yeah.
again, he's
in a
found
younger, like you said, a protege. Yeah.
yeah, an heir to
heir.
the world and the understanding of manhood that he has,
Yes.
right, which is clearly dying out.
Yep.
But he believes that it's important that men still believe in this way.
Yeah. Just to me that Bill would see Amsterdam worthy of his mentorship is reminiscent of Valen being a worthy enemy.
Yeah, it's why he is so worked up at the betrayal.
Yeah. Yeah, that betrayal it's hard. It's like I don't know what would have happened if he just came to him first and I just outright said, I'm Priest Valen's son.
I think he would. I think Bill would have taken him under his wing.
Right. It's like I think at that point,
because again, remember he said he would pay for Priest's son to be taken care of. He'd be taken care of, and it'd be coming out of my pocket. Right. Again, it's that kind of idea of respect and honor for a worthy opponent. Right. This man did nothing to earn his family, being thrown out into the streets and all that, right? That I will take care of them because I take on the burden as well, right? I killed this man, a worthy man, and so I have a responsibility that comes with that.
Yeah, so Amsterdam just an ungrateful little shit. I think that would have been I don't know if you would have had a much more interesting story at that point. I feel like at that point the whole movie would have just been about the crumbling of civilization, which I think could have still been an interesting movie by itself.
It really is what this movie's about. Well, it's about modernity coming in. The problem is it's also about 8 other things that we can ignore because they're
exactly
not
right. Yes.
Yeah, but primarily focusing on that and not have all the other BS there, the fluff. Just take all that out. But yeah, part of me felt for Bill here, because I think again, if he would have had an heir to everything that he is been fighting his entire life for, what would that have looked like moving onward? Would it have lasted? Would it have still fallen by the wayside and crumbled? Yeah, but maybe it would have given him more to fight for. I mean, who knows? It's like saying if Amsterdam would have joined his side, would Bill have just been that much stronger? Would his resolve been that much stronger as well to fight? At that point, it doesn't matter if that he's Irish. It's like you're the son of the man I had so much respect for, the best opponent I've ever faced in my entire life. Like, I will take you under my wing. Now, who knows what the ghost of Qui-Gon Jinn, Liam Neeson would have said, but
yeah. Well, it's also the universal Christian concept of the golden rule: treat others how you would want to be treated. Like, if the shoe was on the other foot, would he not want his enemy to do the same? If he had a family or a son, continue the honor.
I think, if Priest Valen would have killed Bill the Butcher, and Bill had a son, I'm sure Valen would have looked after him, raised him as his own, something along those lines. Absolutely.
Yeah,
especially if he's a priest.
Yeah, amongst men of honor, the idea of it's not unlike the Old Testament requirements where if your brother dies, you take his wife and family into yours, right? That they are now yours. They're your responsibility. And so when you kill in a matter of honor, especially both men are honorable. We're both here, but we have a again, this is war. This is combat. This isn't you have offended me, sir. I'm gonna slap you with my glove because my personal honor requires it. This is combat, and these are worthy opponents who have lived by the code and have done everything required. You take on a responsibility with that, right? That of course I opposed him because we had a difference that had to be resolved via combat, but that doesn't mean that he was worthless. It just simply meant this is the case, and that's not his family's fault. In fact, it's my job to take that on, right? To because had this difference not come up, we may very well have been brothers.
Yeah.
Well, it's that Christian European principle too. We're not the pagans. We don't burn the village. We don't ransack, and we don't, slaughter when the war is done. We take out our enemy, our mutual man.
Frenemy.
And once you conquer and once you establish new government and take over the kingdom, you take care of the needy and the innocent and the woman and children. You take care of the widow and the orphan, and it's just what you do. It's basic dignity. You don't commit atrocity. You man on man. You take out your enemy and move on. It's not a blood debt, not a blood guilt. Like so many carry. The sins of the father do not go to the son. And yeah.
Got two more scenes to kind of go through here. This one's a short one. I included just for the sake of what it ultimately stands for. In Amsterdam challenging Bill. I think this is a jointed response between the two of them, which is why I said it's more of a full embodiment. Obviously, it does take a bit of courage to stand up to someone that you fear, and that could have killed you in front of everyone, but again, let you live in shame, much like he himself lived through. But to do it publicly, obviously to have people backing you, it shows something. Again, I definitely agree that it's because of who his father was, not so much of who he is, but more of that kind of growing and then people sort of believing in who he is. Obviously, it helped his cause, I'll say. But for Bill, obviously, to come up and in full force too, he's showing that what makes you think I'm afraid of you. I could have killed you. Could have killed you easily, boy. But I think the public acceptance of masculinity is they're both committing to the truth here, that this is going to come full circle. This rite of passage is going to happen here. Much like a son that he could have been, or an heir that he could have been to Bill. It does have this a bit of a son rebelling against their father type of feel to it. And obviously he is making the choice on his own to step into this this danger willingly. You know, we know he knows that Bill is no joke. He's really not to be trifled with, and somehow he decides to make it public. Obviously, again with the wabbit pelt.
Yeah.
But he's not.
Oh, he's testing the waters like young men do. You know,
it's like he's not being reactive, but yeah, exactly. But he's definitely testing the waters out, and then be like, well, yeah, if you play with fire, you might get burnt. Obviously, there's a lot of fire in this scene in particular, but I definitely think this is obviously contributing to Amsterdam's arc of masculinity here. Again, there's really not a whole lot to it, but I think again, what it really stands for between him and Bill, Bill's just ready to go, man. He's like, yeah, no, we can totally do this. And what this means moving forward, what it means for the people that you're going to try and muster up for your army. Well, I'll see you on the battlefield. But maybe we could talk about this moving into this next scene here, next talking point, because mentioning the sort of growing alliance, and again the political manipulation that's happening from Boss Tweed, and as we already mentioned, and Monk becoming the sheriff, and again the unjust weight that this entails. And you mentioned Goodwin. Monk comes out with his weapon, right? That Bill is so familiar with, and that they understand what they used to, the right they used to partake in, but everyone else has no. They're like, huh? What? What's this brutal tribalism you guys used to fight here in these streets? We're not about that anymore. We've moved on. Times have changed. Bill is extremely determined. And he has that look on his face where he's like, I'm going to kill you no matter what right now. He's looking nice. He's got his knives. He's come to play ball the hard way. And the one thing I'll also say just about this scene, because of Monk's death here, again, it does strip New York of the lasting moral protector, as we mentioned earlier, the opposite of Bill and Valen here. And I think there's this, in the face of this brutality that Bill, forces upon Monk, there's obviously a lot of strength, power that Bill here is conveying and showing here, but there's no empathy in the death and the killing. There's this huge ego trip that Bill is displaying here before everyone, right? Like putting the notch on his club,
very callous,
saying, "Oh, you're the 45th one." Like, here you are. What does he say? Maybe if you burn him, he'll turn to ash or something like that. Like
maybe he'll turn green.
Turn to green.
Yeah,
turn green. The ash will turn green. Yeah. I'm like, man's just throwing out insults continuously, right? As he has been all film, but or most of all his life, I should say. But again, this is his death is definitely a catalyst to, again, as we mentioned earlier, and Amsterdam's purpose. Although I didn't like that it happened because he was far the more interesting character. But he doesn't beg, he doesn't kneel. He's like, let's try to be diplomatic about this, And Bill's like, huh? What word is that? Dip. How do you spell that word?
Let's talk about that, right? Let's resolve this. We can figure a way. Again, it's Bill. I'm giving you an option to move into the future.
Yeah.
That I'm already ahead of you. The people, the 5 points are moving that direction, right? And by the way, they've discovered that there's a means to power that isn't the ancient ways of combat, but instead politically. And Bill is raging against that. It's an affront to him that he's already lost, right? And he sees his power, his involvement with the future way, has been cut off because he kind of backed the wrong horse, and he was still trying to drag modernity back to him. Modernity's like, nah, bro, we good. We're going to go ahead and move ahead. And now he's enraged by it, so he's going to try and kill.
Yes.
The problem is that dooms him.
I just realized that kid's face.
It's like,
on the right, he's like,
ow!
ooh,
Passion.
it's gotta hurt. Oof. Yeah, I mean, when you look at like the guy's got a hatchet, or
Meat cleaver.
A meat cleaver. Sorry, a cleaver in his back. I mean, that's gonna bring anyone down.
Sever the spinal, nerve endings and stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Unfortunately, where it hit severed ribs, which is really going to be awfully spicy and pain.
Mm-hmm. And of course, yeah, the talk down, again, the public display of dominance. No one's doing anything either.
How does Bill
symbolic.
How has Bill lived this long? How is it? What a fear.
Casting
right.
That's
fear. What he knows. And he's going to resort to the thing that is most familiar.
Yep. No one's going to do anything. They're just like,
yep. I'm going to display what happens when somebody stands up against me.
Just killed the sheriff right in front of us. Okay, I'm gonna go back to picking my my potatoes.
Ooh, look at the time. I got a thing. I gotta go.
Yeah, I gotta make some potato stew.
Yep.
Isn't this the same power system in prison essentially to this day? Like basically, if you can knock down the biggest guy in the yard, then you're the big, you're the big dog, and you can.
Right, but the thing you don't do is fuck with the guards.
Yeah.
And that's what Bill's doing.
Yeah, you will die. Yeah.
Yeah, and he only has to bash his head once, which at that point it was a hard, clean shot that just took him out. So, and then maybe if you burn his ashes, they'll turn green.
I love his one-liners in this. Like I said, I can't say them on stream, but
I know. I was like, I really want to say a lot of these liners, but I can't.
I'll say them when we play Halo or something.
If I'm in a lobby, a gaming lobby, perhaps.
Exactly.
I'll say them in person, maybe.
Yeah, someone cuts me off where I'm not recorded. Yes.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
When we're having.
Oh, I see an Irish neighbor cut me off. That's very disconcerting. That's too bad.
Exactly right. Yeah.
We speak English here, neighbor.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't speak Taco Bell. But I do have to say,
Isaac, you have to go. So, number one, thank you for joining the stream. Always a pleasure to have you, my friend. Tell the lovely people where they can find you and what you got going on the next week.
For sure. Yeah. No, I appreciate it as always. It's always a pleasure to join you guys on Masculine Mondays and hang out with the chat too. The chat is very insightful. Just my channel. I'm on YouTube and X predominantly. Politics and culture war stuff. Appreciate if people could subscribe.
Yes.
Working on getting to almost 500. So truly appreciate it.
Yeah,
and,
go sub to Isaac.
You guys are killing it here. Congrats, Nick, on 800.
Appreciate
You'll
it.
be at 1,000 before the end of the year. So
that would be cool.
$7.99 before this night.
798. Let's make a pact, Goodwin. 798.
Let's do it. We can make it happen.
Let's do it. So it was great to see you guys. Great to see chat, but I do have to go. Family stuff for Thanksgiving to attend to, and I look forward to seeing you guys around.
Absolutely. If we don't chat, man, happy Thanksgiving. Be safe. Have a good time with family.
Yeah, enjoy family.
You as well.
We'll get you back on here.
Have a good rest of the stream, guys. See you later.
Yep. Later, Isaac. Take care, man. Nadia, how's it going? I've seen this.
Through no fault of her own.
One of Chris's favorite. Is that why you've seen it?
Yeah, he made her watch it.
Okay. How you doing, Nadia? Natya. Let's resolve this a democratic way, except not. The last scene obviously is the final fight at the 5 points. Between the two of them, I think, again, it's definitely because of Bill that brings this full embodiment, allows Amsterdam to achieve this. Now, I will say...
That and like some artillery shell. That
I was going to say,
now
there's a giant catalyst to this. It is the ship that's firing off a boatload, no pun intended, of cannons, artillery, that is not only killing people, but destroying buildings, debris going everywhere.
Thankfully, the New York City draft riots intervened.
Yeah. And again, the fog of war itself was aiding Bill and allowing Bill to really gain the upper hand. I mean, dude's moving through the smoke and the fog like an assassin, essentially. And in Amsterdam, being so inexperienced, he would have died if it wasn't for those artillery. Honestly, I mean,
thankfully, Deus Ex Machina showed up to save our protagonist.
Yep. This guy in the green's like this Irish version of a more ugly looking version of Chuck Norris, but with like an axe.
Yeah. This is a Chuck Norris we have at home.
Yeah, Bill. I mean, just again, Bill's writing. He's like, "This is not my first rodeo, bud. Remember, I killed your father." But yeah, in all the meanwhile, the mob's being dealt with, and there's a lot of things that are happening here simultaneously at this final battle. Right, the streets are have run red. The streets will run red with Burgundy's blood. This is not Burgundy's blood. This is mob blood.
Yeah, I mean, this
Irish
is
blood.
the kind of the last remnants of the the mob and independent areas of rule and that the political establishment is more of a suggestion than a force, and they find out that nope, the rules have changed, especially because we're in the middle of a civil war. We've industrialized power in a way that is just going to sweep aside these kinds of smaller tribal attempts.
Yeah. And for a battle that's meant to mimic the first one, less violent.
Didn't really have a chance to get started.
Yeah, so they didn't officiate or officially start.
It was like, you two pud knockers are fighting. Well, allow the U.S. military to vote.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Very impromptu.
I mean, they ruled out pistols. They didn't rule out cannons. Huh.
Yep.
Surprise, motherfuckers.
Small guns? Nah, just take the big ones out. We're fine.
Artillery's fine.
Yeah, go big or go home. Well, they definitely went big.
Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, our most beloved character is wounded. And of course, what's his face? McGloin just gets blasted.
Well, again, it's the
firing squad.
The I'm in combat. Here I come, and it was like, oh, that's what you think combat is? Allow us to show you what industrial modernity looks like in combat.
We just fought a war. You want to see what that looks like? Yeah. It looks a little bit like this.
Yeah, we're still fighting it, and if you want some of that, we'll give it to you.
Yeah. You can't rush us like that. Just want to let you know. So, because if you do, well, this is what happens. Example A. Even though what's his face? What's his name? The guy with the axe. That's Shang. Stephen Graham's character. Yeah, he comes around the corner too and just jumps at them, trying to hit him with the hatchet. He just gets to get stomped and then just rifle butted to death.
Yeah. We're not interested in taking prisoners right now. We're interested in stopping this.
Yeah.
In the way militaries do, which is to kill people.
Yeah. And we don't need to take you along. We can just end you right here, make an example of you. So, I think it's kind of cool how they filmed this sequence, at least with the telegraph bulletins. Yeah. Wasn't bad.
Yeah, it's like new player enters the game, and so you're using the bulletins to show the army coming, and that
was funny.
That was stupid. Everybody just looks like, what the fuck was this?
Where's the elephant come from?
There's some shit going on here.
Exactly. We just spent all morning loading the cans. Why What are we not just going to shoot them?
Yeah. Not gonna shoot him?
Yeah, the one guy just be like, lights the match.
All right, just one.
Just one. Yeah. Yeah. Like, fire! Who did I get fire?
I'm sorry.
I don't know who it was.
I don't know what you're doing.
A lot of loud blasting going on. I just so anyway, I just started blasting.
Yeah.
And
I tripped.
I tripped and I fell. Yeah. This look between Bill and Amsterdam, it's like, are you gonna make a move? But also the realization of what's happening here, I think definitely hits a lot harder for Bill after he looks at Amsterdam and he looks kind of like to the side and realizes what's going on. Like yeah, like times are changing and maybe I'm not meant to last through this. Maybe this is his time.
I'd rather not.
Right. Yeah.
But also the again, there are people that are like, if this is what the world is going to be, I don't want to be a part of it. I would rather be like, the last soldier that dies in the last battle of the last war, kind of thing. And it really kind of is for him and his way of life, the idea of the ancient rules of combat and how you resolve things, the tribalism and all that. That's the end of this. And so if he can be killed by someone that he has respect for, who is still a member of his world and not modernity intruding and just having soldiers shoot him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like I might as well go out swinging and
give an honorable death.
Exactly, give me the honorable death at this point, because this is not the world that I want to be a part of, and this isn't the world that I grew up in. I fought for. I certainly don't want to die for that type of world. So I'll die for the world that I love, and this is what
the thing that made me
will kill me. Yep. And great that he had a little help, but and that's the splatter effects here, I think. But yeah, I definitely felt bad for Bill. I didn't feel bad for Amsterdam at all. Like,
no,
yay, you stabbed a guy that was already wounded.
Yeah.
And would have beaten you.
You were just the guy to do the coup de grace.
Yeah, exactly. And I think right here too, as he's falling down, and he's holding his hand too, and that definitely means a lot for someone like Bill. I think for multiple reasons. Like, you kind of only can imagine and think about what he could have been thinking of in his last moments. What the world around him, again, meant to him, or in his final moments means to him.
And the surrogate son that he thought that he had, but betrayal and all that. But okay, there's also a certain there's a certain logic to the son overthrowing the father, especially for a leader that goes for strength, right? Your hope is that if I'm overthrown, it's my son that does it, because that also kind of unlocks his manhood, right? That he bested me in combat, and so he deserves to have this role. But it's also the end.
Disappointing to say the least. It's like, this could have been my heir taking over. Even if I were to have died here, at least I know that what I was carrying would have or doing would have carried on potentially, and maybe have lasted or adjusted, something along those lines. But he was just thinking about guy who finally killed I finally killed the guy who killed my father.
But I need to lay down until Cameron Diaz comes to get me to him.
Yeah, this is the shot. It's just like, oh, man. Our based hero. Even though people...
It's a man out of time.
Yep.
It's an anachronism now.
The glass eye. That is kind of similar to the logo on my shirt, which is why I kind of tried to find something similar. So, you know, I had to kind of represent Bill the Butcher's glass eye, you know, for America.
We couldn't get Katie on, so this was the closest.
Right, exactly. Yeah. She was too busy on Ketchup Mondays, whatever, Mustard Mondays. Yeah. So, you know, it's understandable, but that'd be a good Christmas present though for her. Get her glass eye like Bill the Butcher.
Yeah.
You know, someone could
Well, I mean, you gave her the crocodile eye. She doesn't use that, so really, can you trust her to put in the Bill the Butcher eye?
Yeah, it's probably because she knew it came from me. So like, I feel like if it was like a Secret Santa, then maybe she'd feel more appreciative because it's like, you know, she doesn't want to disappoint whoever.
Yeah, she's afraid. Yeah, who is it I'm going to disappoint? Yeah,
right, exactly. You know, so I mean, who knows? Maybe it could have just come from Andy himself, and just like play a joke. And
well, then she'll definitely not wear it. That's
yeah. So we got to figure out who she couldn't deny, and then just say it's from them.
Yeah,
and like, well, they're gonna be really mad if you don't wear it. You know, don't sport it.
Terrace maybe. Terrace might be.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think there's quite a few themes along the way. We don't really go through all of them, but I think between
I think there's one theme, and there's a lot of ancillary story that Scorsese wants to say, and unfortunately, a lot of the story ends up getting in the way of the theme.
Yeah, like again, like I wrote a bunch of stuff down, just you know, between the father you must become, not the one you lost. You know, again, being a savage versus a noble masculine. You know, brotherhood is the backbone of like the masculine identity, which we see a lot of. I think might be one of the strongest themes in this movie here. You know,
Damn it, Waylon, stop reminding me of that shit music that played at the end.
Oh. Yeah. The movie, the music in the beginning is not that great either. So, movie totally isn't pro immigration.
Well, I mean, Scorsese's Italian, so he's gonna look back at it.
Yeah. What's up, brother? Let's go. Well, man, we're nearing the end. But we've got important questions to ask always at the end. So, yeah, I think too, legacy is a big one, right? Especially when you've got the modernism taking its approach and affecting the world around you.
Yeah, again, it's the you know, what are the goals? You know, what the whys of you know, we do things and not necessarily the means that we use. You know, the world may change, but that doesn't mean that you know, the fundamental components of who you are has to change with that. It just may be that you use different means to achieve them. So honor can still exist regardless of whether, you know, we solve shit by ritual combat or, you know, or trial by combat or anything like that. You can still be honorable. And you can also, you know, part of that is when you're around people who lack honor, don't be around them anymore.
Yes.
You know,
100%.
The separation of that. Nope, not one of mine. Step away, right? And you see that even with, like, you know, Bill in his world, is there are those who have honor that you respect, and then there are the others, and you don't let them get close to you. I mean, you know, they can be part of your world, but you treat them in a different way and have a different relationship with them than you do with those who share your values.
Yeah.
You know, and values, I mean, successful values for a culture, for individuals, those don't really change. If you go back in history, again, humans have been humans for a long time. If you think you've come up with some new problem, it's either that you don't know history well enough or you've misunderstood the problem. And so the when we have problems or when we have change that comes and we think, oh my gosh, no one's ever dealt with this before, and what are we going to do? understand that it's just the same old shit that's coming wearing a different costume. Underlying, the fundamentals behind it are the same. And the problem with Bill and that world is that there's a directness and a simplicity to the means involved, but he becomes enamored with that versus the idea of solving it in a way that isn't as direct. That well, if I can't just fight a man, what's the point? It was like, yeah, but the idea is to defeat his belief or to resolve, the difference you have in a way in which, I mean, you can declare victory, but that doesn't just simply mean I'm going to go fight, right? People always mistake the idea of war as you kill the enemy. That's not the goal of war. The goal of war is to make the enemy not want to fight anymore.
Right.
I may have to kill nobody to do that, right? I'll just encircle you and starve you.
Yep.
Right. Or convince you that you know what? It's probably a better idea to not.
Yeah, you paint a picture as to what the fallout damage could be, and it's like you hope that they don't call your bluff. It's like, hey, I will do all these things.
Right. It's I will absolutely do these things.
Oh yeah. I'm saying it's like if I can do all this damage and take away everything, right?
Don't make me deliver on this promise.
Don't concede to it. Yeah, it's like like, oh, you can't do that. It's like, listen, I'm not bluffing. We can and we will do this if you don't.
I mean, there's a reason we had to drop 2 nukes on Japan.
Right.
The first one didn't cause them to surrender.
Yep. So okay, well, we got more of that came
all
from.
Right. Well, we're gonna act like we can do this all day.
Yeah.
In fact, if we had to drop a third, it's going to be about 6 months before we can do that because we are going to make some more.
I know. It's like, well, we made 2. Should we have made 3? We still can, but yeah, at the same time, I think it definitely goes with this, what we call FAFO now.
Yep.
So, you don't want it to have to come to that, but obviously if it does, it does.
Yeah, I think again, there's a directness. The simplicity of Bill's world is that you challenge, right? Challenge accepted. We sit down, we discuss what's actually. So everybody fucking knows what's going on, right? It's not like it's not the kind of silly aristocratic idea of honor that existed like in areas of the South or France, or again amongst the aristocracy, where it was like, you said a bad thing about my wife, I'm smacking you with my glove, and where you could just accidentally trip onto, oh shit, I'm in combat or whatever. This is the ancient art. You're going to know what you're getting, right? You have to be intentional with that, right? That I'm challenging and you have to accept, and then we will deal with this and all that, so that we are both. We are very clear on what the rules are, what the consequences are, what the goal is, right? I mean, at the very beginning, when Bill says this is to decide who runs the 5 points, right? And winner take all.
Yep. And I would argue the system is the old ways of aristocratic honor. New system came along later.
Well, so the problem is aristocratic honor between aristocrats tended to operate a certain way. They had a different system for the peons who happened to mess with them, right? Where it was just, how dare you just talk to me, you plebe, and cut that man's tongue out, right? Where other people weren't really people in the same way, right? That they weren't equals.
Right. Out of the 5 scenes, which one do you think was the most masculine or had the best masculine virtues?
I gotta go with the monologue over Valen's body. I mean, it's the you have the viciousness of solving a conflict with violence, but there's an understanding of and respect for that this is a separate thing from the personal,
Yeah.
right? That we do this. Again, we're resolving a conflict. I don't hate you or love you or anything like that. There is this thing that is irreconcilable between us, and the only way to solve it is via combat. But when I encounter someone who very clearly represents all of the virtues of that system, and shows the honor, that exists in that world, then you respect that. You respect the man, even if I disagree with him. I respect the fact that he was willing to step into the arena, that he was willing to fight, with no quarter given, and did so absolutely aware of it, and gave as good as he got, and that at a time when I was weak, and younger, he showed me the importance of honor by shaming me, but also giving me the opportunity to redeem myself in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That it is not that weakness is not fatal and lifelong. That man always has the ability to step back in and fight honorably, and do his utmost and redeem that lost honor and valor.
Yeah, I agree. Let's say before I share my thoughts, good night, Levitt. Hope you have a wonderful evening. And if I don't see you anywhere else, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving with the family. Eat up and have a good time. Who's under my knife? Who's this under my knife?
Under my knife?
Yeah. How'd you two meet? Are you talking about me and Goodwin, or are you talking about?
It was at a gay bathhouse.
Yeah.
It was very exciting.
Yeah.
Both of us were desperately looking for baby oil, but apparently Diddy had bought it all.
Yeah. Had to use Vaseline instead. So,
yeah.
It was the next best thing.
I mean, it makes do.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. Like that's that scene, even in just a combination of when he kills Priest Valen to the point of him bringing that back. It's like that whole thing part becomes full circle when he sees Amsterdam as a child and would have taken him in, but then when he's talking to him 16 years later as a young adult, and he's telling him this truth about his father, but who he was, what he meant to him for his entire life, not just in the past 16 years, but even before that. His backstory, his the man that he has ultimately become and shaped to be, right? I mean, not a lot of people get that chance of in Path of Redemption, especially on the battlefield. So the fact that that's offered to him, as you mentioned, is definitely one of the highlight points for this masculine virtue here. And it's not just the delivery or the acting sense. It's just really what it means on a character basis, from Bill the Butcher to the would-be heir apparent, until it's like, oh, you betrayed me, and that betrayal hits so hard.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because of this monologue that you feel that betrayal, and you understand why it hits why it hits so strong, and what it really means. And it's like something that I always thought Amsterdam never really appreciated or never really understood what it meant, because he was just
clear because again, he's kind of trying to be sneaky bitch made and not say who he is and all that.
Yeah, it's like the honorable thing would have been the moment you see him with God, what's his face, Johnny, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Who rats him out, unfortunately.
Yeah, kid from E.T.
Yeah. Like Elliot, if he would have just gone with him to the point where, it's like he knows who he is, right? Johnny knows who Amsterdam is. So at that point,
Yeah, Johnny
hey.
narcs him out because he's a bit of a simp and he doesn't respect the. Oh, if I just get this guy out of the way, then I get the woman. It's like, yeah, it's some bitch made stuff right there.
Yeah, it would have been a lot more interesting, and I feel like obviously
Johnny definitely earns his death.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, it was warranted. So
Yep.
brutal, but definitely warranted. So.
Well, again, I mean, as Amsterdam says, I have to kill you.
Yep.
But he doesn't, because again, he's not willing to take on the burden and the costs of the system that they live in.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, wait on. The back hair is always well groomed. Stop.
Yeah.
I braid it.
That's funny. What about a masculine rating? What would you give this movie?
So I mean, you really have to kind of constrain it to Bill and Monk, and the Amsterdam is anti-masculine in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that the idea of a man standing up against change and fighting for the world that he believes in and the things that he believes in. I mean, those are always masculine. I think the reason that you kind of raise the Spock brow on this is that I'm not sure that you agree with Bill's positions and all that, but the fact is that he's come to those conclusions and he believes them and he's willing to fight for it, and that's always kind of a masculine behavior, right? You would hope that maybe he has a better understanding of the world or the real threats to his world, but he doesn't. That doesn't negate the masculinity of what he represents and what he's fighting for, and his idea of a manly honor that these are the rules, we accept them, and these are the ancient rules of combat. This is how we resolve these things. And the reason we do this is so that we don't have innocents being in the middle of a fight, that you're not having the cowardice of assassination happening. And by the way, that'll happen about 3 years later, with the president himself. But there's also a weakness in becoming obsessed about the way things are and clutching to that versus what are your goals, right? What are the ends you're trying to achieve, and understanding that there's that the ends can always be the same, but that the means can change, right?
Yeah.
That the world can move a bit, and that this is no longer the valid or successful option. And you would think that Bill would become aware of that because of his exposure to the larger political machinery of New York. I mean, Tammany Hall wasn't any kind of light snack. I mean, it was a serious machine at that time. But he's I think he has there's a fatal flaw there that he can only see so much of the world because of the lens that he uses to see it. That his idea of tribalism is too constrained, and so he sees everything from the perspective of the 5 points, not from a greater view. And so that kind of hamstrung him, and I think that he has an inflexibility in certain ways that makes him less masculine. You have so much of what is honorable, but he lacks the vision to rise above his circumstances, right? And see a greater picture. So I'd probably I'm going to probably give this like a 6.5.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think there were, and I blame Scorsese's writing for some of this, because you could have shown Amsterdam as being the bridge between the two, right? The one who has to go farther than what his father and Bill, their understanding of the world, because things have changed, and that he makes the transition. Monk is actually closer to that, you know, than what Amsterdam is. But there's also the recognition that sometimes you have to go back and you have to kill the past, you know, in a way, right? Or at least those who cling to it and are unwilling to move on. In the same way, okay, if you're going to live by the rules of combat, we're going to do that. The problem is that modernity is much better at it, right? And they don't really have the military do it, which would have been, you know, again, it's cool story, bro. You guys are having this big fight. Shame that the world changed around you and just marches right through, right? But I think that would have been a much more depressing end. You know, that I'm sorry, you were all powerless, and haha, you know, the state showed up and decided to rain on your parade. I think it could have been better. I think that it's because of the writing and the setting and some of the limitations and decisions by Scorsese. I think it was probably never going to get above like an 8. It might have, if Amsterdam would have had a family and had to make choices based on that.
Right. Yeah. I think if this movie would have been written a bit differently, again, I know it's not what Scorsese had in mind. But again, I think it's interesting when, you know, I enjoyed.
Zach's is in the back room.
Oh, hold on. What's up, Zach?
Guys?
How you doing, man?
Hey. Been listening. I've been listening. So yeah, what's up?
How about before I give I'll go last. I was going to give my final rating on the masculine rating for this movie, but what would you say?
I think that, like, listening to, I think I agree with a lot of what Goodwin said, because I'm smart and know what's good for me. So I agree with Goodwin whenever I can.
So you're not going to say what Nadia says in the opposite?
Nadia's on her own. What I think about with this film is that the masculinity, the frontal bond, and I think a lot of that, kind of the best part of this movie is up until the battle with Priest Valen and Bill the Butcher and those sides. And I think that everything after that, it's not a bad. It's just, I think that was, when thinking back and watching this, that's the climax for me still of the film, is that, and what he's showing to his son, and you know, you have to stand up, and at some point you have to risk it all in order to protect those that you love, and to create a future for them. And so what we see is how he adapts and deals with a world where, you know, his father took that risk and lost, rolled the dice, but he didn't fail. Like, I didn't see that as a failure. It was a valiant attempt. And I would have loved to, I'd like to see more of, you know, the early part of the film expanded. Like, I think that would be really cool. Maybe even as a series, because that was more interesting. And if you look into, this is a long time ago for me, but I fell into like a rabbit hole of the different gangs in New York at this time. And like how there was like very like specific roles, like the Plug Uglies would just go and sit on fire hydrants, and that's why they got their name. And you have to fight them to get off and they would start a fire, but sit on the fire hydrant so that you couldn't put out the fire unless you paid them off.
Obscure.
Like,
well,
you know,
and then you had the different fire brigades that would show up, and then they would, you know, who gets, because they got paid based on what you were doing, right?
Yep. You set fires, and you would then make them pay you to put them out. It was just
so much like government now. I mean, they cause problems, and then you pay them to solve it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Exactly, but this is a bit more entrepreneurial, at least. Like,
yeah,
the money goes to the fire starters directly, not to the government.
Yeah. There's not 3 layers of middlemen that have to get their cut.
Yeah,
I wonder, like, what do you guys think if they chose someone like, I like Leo, like, he's a very good actor. I'm not putting him down, And he's good in this. I just what do you think it would have been like if they picked someone else?
I think the fatal flaw is the script. And I think DiCaprio, he's a little too pretty boy and
That's
kind
what I
of
think.
slight, for that. But I don't think that getting a more imposing or somebody who looks like they could actually deliver violence instead of give you a stern lecturing and wagging their finger. I don't think that solves some of the problems of the script and the character that they made.
Right. Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the script is ultimately the problem. And I think too, like, it'd have been one thing if Scorsese had more masculinity in mind than what we see here, because again, there's really not a lot in it. What we do get is very subdued, and it's unfortunate that the best parts of masculinity revolve around Bill the Butcher and Priest Vallon himself, and then Monk McGinn, who isn't in the movie a whole lot, and then has a very unjust death, right? So I think there could have, been a lot more masculinity in this movie, period, based on the characters that would have been represented more. Because aside from that, to Goodwin's point, if Amsterdam would have had a family, right? He comes back into the fray,
right?
Having a family, like he'd already, had a wife and kid, and at that point, and not to say he needed to be older, because at that time people were having kids and having families very young ages, right? So I don't think
we're still doing that in this current time. So
right, yeah. So it wouldn't have been outlandish at all to say, he's still on a mission, a vengeful mission, even though he has a family now. And at that point, it's like, what is he actually fighting for, right? What is he aspiring to do here? Is this what's best for his family, or is he being selfish here, right? So they could have explored a lot of other opportunities writing wise. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of an interesting point of Scorsese, being a boomer. So
true.
I'm sure Matt would disagree with us. But
no, Matt's used to being wrong. It's fine.
That's right. Yeah. So, but I do think, if we needed more on Bill's character other than he's evil because he doesn't like immigrants. And again, we that monologue, as we said, which is the most masculine part and scene of this movie here, is it does speak to more of his character, and I think again his character can only carry so much. Again, what's centered around him and his involvement as a character is limited by the writing, and it's limited by the script. So it's not overall. It's not, this movie isn't going to have a high masculinity rating. Like I was, sitting somewhere between a 6.5 and a 7 at the highest. It could have been higher, but it's just not something that was intended. And I don't know if, again, having different actors would have meant all that much. Again, like saying if it was, if it wasn't Leo and it was someone else, if it wasn't Cameron Diaz and it was, Sarah Michelle Gellar.
I don't think it solves the weakness of the script.
Yeah, no. might make the movie itself a little bit more tasteful, or consumable at that point. I know people still like it. It's totally fine, right? As we say. But
other people like step up to the level of Daniel Day-Lewis's commitment to accent and characterization and all that stuff, instead of, why is this 20th century guy showing up in the 1800s to mess with Bill? And
right.
Yeah. Where's the Starbucks that he's getting his shit from?
Wayland's made the point too, and you guys have said it as well, but he was masculine plenty in The Departed, and like that's a different role, but he give with some different direction, even though I think it's the same director, right?
Yeah, it's because they did The Departed too. Yeah.
But it was very different Leo in that movie.
Yeah, but it's also an older Leo, and again, Scorsese's gone back to things he knows, mob movies. So do that, you know.
Yeah,
and I think Scorsese was also he was a bit blinded by this because he's writing about Irish and nativists, but you can tell he really wants to tell an Italian story.
Yeah, he definitely did.
It was like the Irish. I mean, they had to immigrate and put up with some shit too. So okay, I'm gonna do that. And it was like, just do the Italians, Martin.
Yeah,
just do
just,
that.
True.
Yeah, just come
you
on,
wanted
do
to
it.
anyway. Stuff.
Yeah, you should have. He's like, I'll do the padded later.
Well, I mean, you know, like the idea of Bill and the you know the ancient rites of combat and rules and all that, right? That's not substantially different from what the mob does when they create the commission, because it's a police force within a system that is external to government, right? That here are the rules. You can't do this, and if you fuck around, then we just kill you, right? And so it's a simple and violent system, but it's understandable and mostly predictable, and that's good enough for most you know, societies of a certain scale, right? So you know that's a made man. No, you can't kill him unless you come and get permission from us, right? And then somebody plays the fool. Well, then the commission's job is to police criminals, essentially, right, within their organizations. That idea of the that's why it becomes organized crime, and not just like groups of families, but also again it's a, you know, you had the families that would war against each other and all that, and then you had to create something above it to kind of step out of the idea of vendetta and vengeance and blood feuds and shit like that, right, and make it a greater thing. Bill and the gangs never really had that option, right, because it just goes straight to, you know, here come the soldiers and we're just going to erase the leadership of all of that, right? But I think it would have been a more interesting kind of thing to show them trying to deal with modernity coming in, and modernity is absolutely going to wash away many, but there's going to be some that manage to make the transition, right, to, or at least ape some of the systems, right? That the world changes, but it doesn't have to totally change all at once. Right? These gangs didn't just go the fuck away.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah, they were around for for quite a while.
Yeah, and it's not like gangs have been ended.
No, definitely not. They're easier to, like, I guess they have worse names now. They're lazy with that stuff. The Crips and the Bloods. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, the very
the Dead Rabbits. Give me that.
Yeah.
Yeah, these new names are not very creative at all.
The Bowery Boys.
Yeah, that's better.
I mean, if you show up with top hats, ready to fucking let's go. All right. You know, you gotta dress snazzy. You know, the Baseball Furies. Oh wait, that's a different movie.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, the Baxter Street Dudes.
The Backstreet Boys. What the hell?
Yeah, Backstreet. Oh, whoops,
God, no.
Wrong one. Whoops.
Damn it.
Wrong era. The Bowery Boys, 5 Points Gang, Gopher Gang, 40 Thieves. What else we got? Carryonians. That doesn't sound Irish at all.
No.
Those must have been the ones that nobody could understand what they were saying.
Yeah. They're always after me, Lucky Charms.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
5 points.
Anthony McGorr. They all sound like common people.
Yeah. I almost read this wrong. It's Roach Guards. I almost read it as Roach Gourds.
Oh, no, not the Roach Gourds.
Gord, you have an infestation. I want to get that.
The Roach Guards sound like the guys you set up for the weed stash. Okay, you guys, you're going to be guarding this. And
yeah.
You guys are going to have top hats too. Like their whole.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is so different than now. Like their uniforms, I guess, different than red bandanas.
Well, and the understanding of that instead of the we're just going to drive-bys and civilians be damned and all that stuff, that okay, we're going to set up, we're going to fight in this area. Here are the rules, right? We're actually going to negotiate this out because we're going to have this as actual combat, not just attempts to assassinate all the time.
Right. But yeah, you have to have balls to do that stuff.
Well, and
balls.
and an understanding of other than I'm just trying to protect my corners so I can make money, a concern about the greater area, right? I don't just want to run 5 points and everybody's dead, and so I just have some real estate that I can go out and skip on or something like that, right? I actually want to control these things for people. I have a greater goal.
Yeah, because looking up some of these names too, like for relevancy, of course. Who's Wahoo's, right? Am I pronouncing that correctly? WHYO.
Wahoo's?
Wahoo's? Is the Wahoo's?
Wahoo's?
Yeah.
Sounds Welsh almost.
From the 1860s to 1890s, they were known for their distinctive war cry and one of the first truly organized gangs in Manhattan, offering services like beatings and contract killings. So
nice.
Yeah. Not quite the type I like to see, which honestly, I'm kind of surprised that Scorsese didn't really do something on like the five families, the five Italian families, that is. Which I actually knew a kid that was from the Gambino family in high school, ironically.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Did he wear silk suits all the time?
Shark skin.
No.
Shark skin. Oh, I apologize.
Yeah.
No. Always. God, what did you used to wear?
Oh yeah, the Carryoians, because they're from County Kerry.
Yeah, County Kerry.
Ireland. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this: the Shirt Tails, Swamp Angels, Whitehead Gang. Oh, the Yakey Yakes.
Sure.
It's YAKEYYAKES. I've never heard of them before.
I'm just glad my Irish ancestors came over before all this bullshit. They came over like 1805, so they
already
and then immediately headed to Ohio.
Yeah. The rest of the gangs from like the 20th century just got less prominent, I think, with some of these names. Eastman Gang, Boodle Gang, Black Spades, 5 Points, Gopher, Savage Nomads.
Well, to be fair, trying to find a rabbit in New York City was probably an exercise of futility if you're not in Central Park.
True.
Yeah, facts. Tammany Hall was the biggest gang.
Yes, by far.
Yep. Mirrormet Gang.
That's what boss tweet. He'd be like, sorry, Bill, bye.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Daybreak Boys, yeah. Well, that hold on. Ohio is the Florida of the Midwest. Yes.
It is now.
It is now.
But so I think it was my great grandfather founded 2 counties in Ohio.
Wow.
And was elected sheriff of one because the Protestants came in and they didn't like these dirty Irish. It was the Presbyterians, I believe, actually did. And so he and his another Irish guy, they ran a pub. It was called the Dead Horse, I think. And they bribed people to vote for him and won.
Interesting.
Free drinks if you vote for us here.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a good match, eh?
That was the second county. The first county, he looked around. He was like, "There's too many goddamn Presbyterians around here. I'm leaving." And so went to establish another one, and then here they come again. Oh no! Well, we're gonna do something about that.
I'll have to tell you guys about some of this old family ancestry I found. God, I want to say it was probably a year ago. I know it's sometime last year, but some of my ancestors that date before these times actually like old typed out letters, um, and some handwritten letters. I mean, just the type of language that was used. I mean, they don't. No one talks like that anymore. Which
They do in romance novels.
That's true. Yeah, the educated, I should say, but yeah, it's hilarious. Some of the stuff I found, I'm like, oh wow, I had no idea my lineage went in that direction, but that's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I like the Reformed Presbyterians. Yeah. I think that's gonna do it for the Gangs of New York, episode 30 of Masculine Mondays, the big 3-0. Before we talk about next week, Zach, do you want to tell the fine people where they can find you, what you have going on this week? I know it's the holiday, so not sure what you got going on, but let them know.
Well, I've had my turkey already this year. We do ours in October, so
that's right.
I'm going to be nothing changed. I'll be living. I'll be trying to smell the gravy from up here. You guys can take care of that for me. I'm going to be almost singing about an hour, really, actually.
Okay.
So, hey. Yeah, that's on her channel. So go check out Cinevere. I will be there. And then Wednesday, as usual, I think we're 87 versus, yes, it's 1987 versus 1999.
Ooh, that's
it's going to be a
spicy.
Yeah,
it's going to be spicy.
Predator versus Matrix.
I know you guys people are traveling or whatever, but I'll see who's around and see if I can pull it off. But that's the plan.
Yeah, so I'm gonna see. I'll be traveling Thursday morning, so and back on Saturday. So I'll keep you posted for Wednesday.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll be on the road Wednesday, so I'm not gonna be able to make it.
Yeah.
No, I think that could be a lot of people. So if there's not enough actual original OG panelists around, I'll do something different because it really doesn't work when you try to take the people who helped nominate them out of it, and then we try to remember why we picked that one, and it's like, oh, that was a good one's pick. Like,
yeah.
Okay, well, can you argue for it? Not really.
It should argue for itself if it was my pick.
We do that.
Yeah,
that does happen. So yeah.
Well, Goodwin picked that. Okay, well, debate's over. Let's just step aside.
But if you picked both drama categories are mostly good ones, what do we do? Like, who wins?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's true.
Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me on. I know it was late joining, but soon I got here as soon as I could. My kid was wild tonight. So yeah.
Understood for sure. Gibbon, what about you? I know you said you're traveling.
Yeah, I think the only thing I've got is tomorrow I'll be on Treb Retro's channel when we cover Galaxy Quest. Probably the third best Star Trek movie, maybe second.
I would agree. Mm-hmm. Never give up, never surrender. Never give up, never surrender.
By Grapthar's hammer, you shall be avenged.
I love that movie so much. I definitely want to cover that at some point.
My favorite is Alan Rickman with the By Grapthar's hammer. What a savings.
What a savings. And his deadpan delivery.
Yes, he is dying inside as he says.
My God, that's hammer.
What a savings.
What a savings. Just dead in his eyes.
Great movie.
That's amazing, Pouty. Yeah, definitely want to cover that at some point for sure. I know we covered it on channels. Was it was
movie night
last year, right?
Was
it early this year? This year. Could have been this year. I think it was this year. Yeah, I can never stop talking about that movie, and it's definitely one of those movies that I can watch at any time too.
It's such a love letter to fandom as well.
100%. Scene stealing.
That's right. Yes.
And it's very quotable too, which is, unheard of for a Star Trek movie. But I think because of it, it goes so well.
About? From hell's heart, I stab at thee. For
that's
sake,
true.
I spit my last breath at thee.
Aside from the
Cut your blood sucker.
The good Star Trek movies. I'm still learning. Paul Cooley, he's amazing. Yes. Tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern, we'll be here with Gord, Vex, and I believe Gooch. And we're going to be covering Terminalist Dark Wolf, episode 7, the finale of season 1 here, which will be a good conversation. And not sure what we're doing next on Tuesdays, because there's a few weeks before Fallout season 2 begins, which is probably going to be the next stream we cover, or next show we cover on the stream, for it being very trendy. That's going to be fun. Should be somewhat controversial, which, should mean good conversation. But yeah, there's 3 weeks of in between where I'm not too sure what we're going to do. I thought about doing maybe a shorter stream, but maybe ranking some of the shows that have come out this year, seeing where they're at.
You should do the Dan Trachtenberg universe. Shit on the 3 movies that he's made.
Could do that, yeah. Let's do a bit of an impromptu one, yeah.
Exactly. It was kind of the bookend to Alien Earth. We're going to cover Trachtenberg's dog shit.
God. Yeah, so then Wednesday will definitely be up in the air for me, depending on what's going on. But then I'll be back. I do have weekly videos coming out for Landman season 2. Can't recommend watching that show enough. I would say would cover that, but it would definitely cut into Fallout. So I was like, well, I'll definitely make videos for that show instead. Billy Bob Thornton is great in that. Sam Elliott has been included in this season, which is great. Most of the acting is very well done, even from like Ali Larter.
Jerry Jones does go great in that.
Yeah, he was only in that one episode last season. Which is kind of crazy. I'm like, he's just telling a true story from his actual experience, but I mean, he did a good job for what it was worth.
Glory hole days.
Glory hole.
Some glory holes. Yep.
Yeah.
Give some of that glory hole.
Give up stuff for Lent.
I gave up Catholicism for Lent.
Yeah. And next Monday, we're going to be covering Rambo First Blood. There's going to be a special guest.
Indeed.
I don't know. What?
Indeed. Yeah.
I don't know if I should tell them who it is, though. What do you?
Do it.
Yeah, well, I can assure you that you know him.
Yeah, I will say, you have heard of this person.
Mm-hmm.
He has more than 800 subs.
That's true.
Okay.
He has a beard.
Leon.
No,
that was a good guess.
He's a good
guess.
guess.
I did say that everybody knows him. So
I will say, yeah, people know him. He's an actual man.
Okay.
Yeah. He has more masculinity than Leon does.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's pretty low bar.
Yeah. Low bar.
Is he nerdy?
It can be. Yeah.
Yeah, he can be. Not all the time. Nerdy. Erwin doesn't have a beard. He just kind of has. He tries, I think, right?
I think he glues hair onto his face in an attempt to have facial hair.
Yeah. No, Zach, didn't you hear?
Yeah.
He. Does he wear glasses?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. He. Correct. Apologies, Gord.
It's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes we don't know with Leon. I mean, sometimes he does act like a he, and sometimes the opposite.
He does.
Yep. So it's Andy. Andy has the alpha stash.
Andy has better hair.
Yeah, Andy does have better hair than this person. That is true. Does it rhyme with juridical crinker?
Kind of, yeah. I think it does.
It might.
Similar to that, yeah.
I would need to study my hooked on phonics a bit more.
Oh, you had that new education. Oh,
yeah. You know, Florida education. You know, it's not the best in the States. I mean, I
understand.
Did try growing up. I mean, I did go to college. I did graduate from a university. So I mean, there's
my letters and numbers and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I knew what an acronym meant, and you know, read some poetry.
Gender studies.
Yep.
Of course.
Yep.
Well, I mean, if sex ed class counts, yeah.
What's about hooked on a blind sex education? In certain counties, that is very true. It's not Leon, the damp scrutinizer, Timu drinker.
The damn scrutinizer, yes.
I didn't know that Nick has dyslexia like me.
Yeah, I'm down for the damp scrutinizer. Let's go.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that. I need to use that for him from now on.
Yeah.
The serial vapist.
The serial vapist. Yeah, the next super chat just needs to go out to be like, "What's up, Leon? My serial vapist."
Known serial vapist.
But yeah, that should be a very fun stream. It'll be the first Sly Stallone film. I think we will have covered, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, the first one, which won't be the last, but. Yeah, I think it's definitely the best first one to do for sure of him.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's some really good characters in there that are showing different aspects of masculinity and all that. Oh yeah,
that's right, Demolition Man. That's right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I was like, I could have sworn
that's a Wesley Snipes movie. Stop
it. Yeah. I don't know if that really counts because it is a prophetical movie more than anything.
Yeah, it's a prophecy. It's not even a movie.
Right. Yeah. So that was foretold futures for us.
Yep.
Where this is just an actual like full blown.
Yeah, this is a movie, not one of the three sacred prophecies.
Right. Fictionary tale of Sly Stallone, young Sly Stallone. Right. So yeah, should be good though. Make sure you tune in for that. And just stay on the lookout for some updates along the way. And who can we raid? I don't know who's.
Oh, you can raid Cinnies. So you're going to be a little early, but
yeah, very early.
Yeah. Let's see who we got. I mean, you could go over there and wait. You know.
Yeah, better to go there than to waste it. And you all should be there anyway for Cinny.
Right. Yeah. So we'll where is she? Tell me she didn't make it. Oh, wait. The viral victim story that fell apart. And that's it. Should be it. Okay. All right. Raid is set. Tune in later.
Anyone on the panel in a gang?
Nice.
Not officially.
I plead the fifth. What's up, Human Crisis?
I would say that I may or may not have been involved in some roguish shit at one time or another.
Yeah.
We don't have gangs in Canada. It's warming clubs. We have warming clubs.
Yeah.
Currently? No. Previously? Well, I can neither confirm nor deny my involvement in such things and activities.
Yeah. Did the Carthaginians count?
Yeah. But I want to thank Starco Gang. Yeah. Thank everyone in the chat for tuning in tonight. Always appreciate you guys, the donos, the members, of course, my panel, Goodwin, Zax, Isaac for being on earlier. Kitty, even though she double booked herself like a terrible South African person. Gosh.
Oh my God.
She is. She is not a classy slut.
She's not a classy slut. And you think that someone has a show called Thinkers, she would have thought better.
Yeah.
I don't know. But she is a woman after all, so I mean, who knows?
Maybe
right?
maybe it's everybody else on the panel doing the
Gosh.
thinking. That could have been
yeah. Yeah, it's certainly not her doing all the thinking and the
No,
thoughts.
no.
Listen, I get it. Time zones are hard. I understand first and foremost from work, believe me. But well, or
Hey, all right.
that's true. Exactly. See, this is the case in point. So
Especially on time to leave.
yes. Yeah. I was with for most of my life, bad decision, but a learning experience, guide your children. Yeah. That's the despite what your past involvements have may have been, guiding your children, that is a masculine thing to do. So
Again, I mean, one of the most masculine things is not the destination you reach, but the path you took and the growth that you had along it.
Yep, absolutely. So glad, we all make bad decisions from time to time. So, but glad that has been remedied. Sort of like a path of redemption, as we talked about here in this movie as an example. So, but appreciate you stopping by, Cuban Crisis. I know we're just calling it a night, but I'm glad that YouTube is somehow
brought you into the fold.
Yeah, throwing the channel out there into the algorithm. So Monday nights, though, we tune in weekly here, 9 p.m. Eastern. It's a new movie every week. We're doing Rambo First Blood with a small-time YouTuber. Smaller than me. So, always got to help out the small guys.
Yep.
And
always willing to help somebody out.
Yep, absolutely. So much love to everyone. I'm going to play a different clip just because I don't know. I feel like it. And we'll send you over to Cindy's stream. So farewell and adieu. Later.